What's up, Knicks fans? The playoffs are finally here, and every game matters. So before you fire off your bets, listen up. When you bet with Fanatics Sportsbook, you earn FANCASH, up to 10% back on all your bets, win or lose. And unlike points that expire, FANCASH is the true currency of sport. You can spend it on official gear for every team in every league, as well as collectibles and exclusive experiences, all on Fanatics.com. You're getting access to the world of sports every time you bet with Fanatics Sportsbook. And by the way, before every game, you could find our Knicks Film School squad bet right inside the Fanatics Sportsbook app. So if you're betting the game, bet right along with us. Get in on the action and start earning FANCASH today. Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here.
Oh boy. How do you put something like that into words? Welcome, friends, to the Knicks Film School Postgame Show, presented by Fanatics Sportsbook, where I got to tell you, I'm a little out of sorts because sitting here, it's 9:50 p.m. Game 6 between the Knicks and the Hawks just ended about less than 5 minutes ago. And yet it feels like I started doing a post-game show about 2 hours ago, because that was roughly the last time when there was any suspense left in Game 6 in this series. And frankly, the last time that any Knick fan out there should have had even an ounce of doubt that for all of what they have, I don't want to say put us through, because it's like Cry Me a River for real, but like after the, I'll say, trials and tribulations of this season and the doubt that this team has engendered at times, I think we could officially say, yes, this team is absolutely 100% dead fucking serious about winning the NBA championship this season. For a lot of people, that was an obvious fact long before this series ever started. I know there was certainly a moment in this series after Game 3 where I know I wasn't the only one who was looking around and starting to already ask some very uncomfortable questions, starting to have some very scary thoughts about what this summer would bring. But what the Knicks have done over the last 3 games, in which the total margin of victory for those 3 games, this is funny, is, if I could just do some very quick math, yes, 96 points over the last 3 games. Went from winning by 16 to winning by 29 to tonight, of course, a 51-point win that, I could say this with a straight face, was not that close. It really does put things in perspective. And what I was trying to come to settle on, come to a happy medium with, is on one hand this new reality for Knick fans. And it has been a reality for a little bit of time now, and I'm still not used to it. And I know people who, stuck with this team through the 2 decades before this run started are probably not used to it either. This new reality that this is what they are supposed to do. You think back to the 90s when the first round was absolutely a formality, whether it was, going up against the Hornets or the Cavs or whatever other, team happened to be the sacrificial lamb in the first couple of weeks of the NBA playoffs, or first week and a half, because back then it was just best of 5. We're back to that point again. It doesn't really feel like it. The Sixers series didn't feel like that. Last year against the Pistons, God knows, in the middle of those games didn't feel like that. And of course, this year where it's like, the Hawks, they're frisky, yada, yada, yada. And then, of course, you go down to 1, didn't feel like that. But that's where we are. Again, after 25, 30 years, we're back to that place where this is expected. This is the new normal. This is not something that we as Knicks fans are supposed to celebrate. And yet, my favorite words, I don't know how anybody is capable of sitting here and watching what we just watched over the last 2.5 hours unfold and not at least take a minute to bask in the glow of a team that is capable of doing what the Knicks just did to an opponent that I thought had proven themselves to at least be a respectable opponent, an overmatched opponent, an opponent that was not a great matchup for this Knicks team, as I'm going to get into with Benji Rholz in just a moment. But a respectable opponent, an opponent that was up 2-1 in this series on you. We cannot escape that fact. We cannot, that doesn't vanish into thin air because of what happened tonight. That was a thing that actually happened. On their home court, in a game where everybody over there knew Quinn Snyder, CJ McCollum, these guys have been in playoff series, a lot of playoff series before. I know they have some kids who have, this is their first go run or run through, and you saw that come out tonight, I think. But like, they knew, hey, if we lose tonight, our season is over. Let's get back to MSG. Let's get back to Madison Square Garden where we know we could win. And you thought for a brief second after the Knicks had a nice start, like right for the first couple of possessions, you thought for a brief second after Atlanta rattled off a 9-0 run, like, oh, okay, they're up 9-5. I guess we're gonna have to play a game tonight. I guess this is gonna be a real basketball game. And then it was like 100 avalanches all at once, and all coming down on a Hawk team that did not know what hit them, did not know how to respond, and frankly, I think showed themselves to be what some people predicted before the series, what they were, which is like, hey, great story. This is not competition, or at least it should not be competition for this Knicks team with what they are capable of. And then that's the last piece of it. We've been talking for 2 years about this team's capabilities. It's why they made the Mikal Bridges trade. It's why they made the Karl-Anthony Towns trade. It's frankly why they changed coaches in the offseason. Because at some point, the conversation around what you are capable of stops being fun and cute, and it starts being the reason why national talking heads look at you in not the best of light. And they're like, yeah, why do they always keep falling short of those capabilities? Can we really trust this team? Can we really believe in this team? Can we really think that this team could get through 3 rounds of Eastern Conference playoffs? Or are they going to somehow, some way, to some opponent fall short? And look, 2 more playoff rounds to go. Sixers are up big right now on the Celtics. Looks like that is headed to a Game 7. We'll see who comes out of that series. Either team that comes out of that series. Because if it's Boston, I think we have to take Boston seriously. And if the Sixers find a way to win this game and then win Game 7, well, I guess we have to take them seriously as well. So it's not like winning this game, whether they won it by 100 points, automatically stamps their ticket to the NBA Finals. That's not what tonight was about. What tonight was about was validation. It was validation for everybody who has refused to believe people like me when I come on here after bad losses and tell you this is hopeless. They don't have what it takes. Just count down the days until the summer comes and they break this thing up. No, this was validation for everybody who refused to go down with that ship and always had faith in what they built and that they would get through the bumps and they would emerge stronger because of it. And I don't know how you look at how they ended this series. And really, like, again, it's 2 1-point losses, and there was a lot of good even in the 2 games that they lost. Like the whole series. I don't know how anyone could look at the series and think anything other than that this team has come out of 82 games far stronger and better suited for a championship run than when they went into it. This is what you want. As the calendar is about, we are literally 2 hours flipping the calendar to May. You cannot ask for a team to be playing better, with more confidence, with more cohesion, and talk about striking a balance, finding that perfect balance between we know how good we are, but we know what we have to still prove. And that is a hard thing to do, if only because we've all been watching basketball for a long time. You don't see it very often. You don't see the team not rest on its own laurels. And that's a credit to them. And it's a credit to every one of them. And we're going to dole out some very specific praise here in a little bit as we go through how they actually won this series. And I'll be here until 5 a.m. if I need to answer everybody's super chats. But before we get to any of that, I'm going to call up my dear friend and colleague, someone I'm very lucky to get to talk about basketball with, who has taught me more about basketball over the years that I have been privileged enough to call him a colleague than anybody, and that is Benji Rholz. Hello, sir.
It's retroactively Knicks in 5. We did it. Anyone who said Knicks in 5 can claim the series that they were correct, I think.
That's fine. I'm here for it.
And I am one of those people. If you win by 50, then you can take a game off of the Hawks. Thoughts?
How you feeling about this team?
Man, this worked out as perfectly as it possibly could have. And you get the extra game because of some foolishness in game 2 that we talked about after game 3.
Yep.
So you have to play an extra game, which you shouldn't have had to. This was a 5-game series all the way through. But you get this extra game, and what do you get out of it? You get the best performance of the season. You get Mikal Bridges back on the map.
Bingo.
You have everybody playing with cohesion. You discover another mode of offense that you can play in any series coming up through Karl-Anthony Towns as a hub. You discover a defense that can absolutely overwhelm an opponent. I don't know. It could not. This game, thank God Mitchell Robinson got out of there before he got hurt.
Yes.
But this game could not have gone any better in the sense of you're now as prepared as you could possibly be. This other game that's going on, you might get a rest advantage in game 7 regardless.
23-point Sixer lead right now with 10 and change to go in the fourth quarter.
This night has just been it's one of the great nights for Knicks fans that you can imagine, because they are now going into the second round series, whoever they play, feeling as healthy, as you said, as cohesive, as prepared, as diverse. Everybody's got confidence now. What else could you really ask for? You even got some bench guys who you might need for who knows what. Whether someone goes down in the next series, you got Mo Diawara out there playing a little bit and getting some shots up. Kolek and Huck Porty, if who knows? I mean, you never know what happens in the next hopefully 3 series. Shamit. Right? You got those guys in there to get a little bit of a rhythm. Like, all of these were just positive after positive after positive, while absolutely humiliating a basketball team that had some self-respect coming into game 6. So, I am feeling great about this team right now.
So I'm happy that the first player name out of your mouth was Mikal Bridges. To me, by far, the most important thing that happened tonight, other than the Knicks winning the basketball game, was Mikal Bridges looked like a guy who rediscovered his love of the game of basketball. I don't even know is that not even strong enough? I don't even know how to describe the guy that we just saw out there, because it's not the guy that we've been seeing.
He just got out in transition early. And I always find with him, I'm not sure why he doesn't do more of these Euro steps. He's so long with such long strides, and he should be able to finish in transition with ease. You saw that early. He made the 3 in garbage time at the end of game 5, which felt important at times. You got to see one go in.
You pointed that out in your grade book, and I'm like, I'm so happy he pointed out because I felt the same way in the moment, and I'm like, oh, that's silly.
No, there's nothing silly about that. If you've there's nothing silly about seeing one go in late, and it just builds into the next. Made a couple of mid-rangers over people. Like it was Mikal Bridges again. And look, his defense never wavered in the series except for like one little spell on CJ McCollum. So I'm not worried about his defense. But it's like I need to get something out of this guy offensively if I'm going to get to where I want to go. And to see him just find his rhythm, get out in transition, and out of the transition buckets came with confidence, which came with getting to the free throw line once, which is always important for him, which then kind of like spilled over into some mid-range and then the three as well. So you're going to need that guy, and OG's not going to shoot 70% forever. So you're going to need other guys to step up at some point. And Mikal getting into a rhythm there is as important as anything that happened tonight. No doubt about it.
1,000% on multiple levels. Felt appropriate to start with Mikal because, again, I think that's the leading story of the game. The leading story of the series, and man, what's the saying? Let the apology be as loud as the disrespect. I'm gonna need to go. Where do they sell bullhorns? At like Staples? Can you get a bullhorn at Staples? There was Staples nearby me. In Garden City. Maybe I should go check it out. Maybe I should have gone and checked it out before this post game. I never really believed in Karl-Anthony Towns. I'll just come right out and say I've said versions of that before. I'm not too proud to admit that. I just flatly did not think that he had what it took to consistently be the sort of two-way presence that a team where he occupies that salary slot, because when you occupy that salary slot, it means you have to play a certain amount of minutes, you have to produce a certain amount, because that's just the way NBA teams are constructed. And I'm like, I just don't, at the end of the day, I don't trust him to come up big in over, 80 to 85% of a 7-game series. And I don't know that there has ever been an instance in my life as a sports fan where anyone has ever turned my opinion of them around as swiftly and as emphatically as Karl-Anthony Towns did in that series. Because they won by 8,000 points tonight. If Karl doesn't have the series that he has, and he has like a bad series or just like a ho-hum series, I don't know what would have happened. I mean, should they have still won? Probably still won in 6 games. Yeah, I guess. But I don't want to think about that outcome. But they didn't have an answer for him in minute 1 of the series. And I don't know when the hell he checked out of the game for good. Minute 30 of this game, whenever it was. They didn't have an answer for him then either. And it is astounding to me. And I don't even know what's more astounding. The fact that he had his fingerprints all over the offense, or the fact that he turned into what on defense? I'm stunned.
Yeah. I think it's one, there are 2 ways to look at it. It's you could see it as we've been waiting for like the team to understand Cat and like what he can bring to the table and play through him a little bit more and trust him defensively a little bit more. But to me, there's like another element to this, which is I think Karl-Anthony Towns has grown a lot this season, and I don't think anybody would have thought that this player would grow at this stage in his career. And,
is that what it is? Do you think that's what it is?
I think he's grown. I really do, and I think it took a lot of dissonance with how the team was playing, with his coach, with his star player. I think it's been a difficult year for him in a lot of ways, but at a certain point in this regular season, and now it's certainly spilled over into the first round of the playoffs, like he found a comfort, a security, a self-confidence on both sides of the ball that I didn't watch every game he played in Minnesota, but I like to think that I had a pretty good sense of who he was. Like, I think this is as sure of a basketball player as Karl-Anthony Towns has ever been. He is assured of himself on both ends of the floor, on how he wants to play, on what he wants to do. He's in lockstep right now with his team, which was, again, not the case all year. And look, he's under control. And with Cat, there's always like things could get sporadic on both ends.
Stray
he can
voltage.
start lunging on defense. He can start flopping on offense. Both of those things happen at times, and neither happened this whole series. It was so under control. That's what stood out to me. He knew it was his series. We all knew it was his series. It took the rest of the Knicks and his coach maybe too many games to figure out that this was his series. But once everyone figured it out, it was like too easy. It was all too easy for him on both ends.
We're not doing a preview of the next round first and foremost because we don't know who they're playing in the next round. But just like briefly, how confident are you that he will be able to carry some of this forward into the next round?
Very confident. I'm very confident. I mean, it does depend on the matchup a little bit, and who's going to guard him on either of these teams. Boston's going to put Tatum on him for stretches and Brown probably. Philadelphia is a little bit more complicated. Who is the guy that can guard him on their wing? They're all a little bit probably too small / slight. Is it Oubre? I mean, that's tough. So it might be Embiid. If it's Embiid, then you're talking pick and roll mania. I don't know how the Sixers are going to deal with it. So that'll be just an interesting conversation as we look forward. But, Boston, we've seen him play. We've seen them take him out of his game at times. But I think the Knicks have found something here where, like, okay, you put him as the hub against Tatum. You run all your off-screen stuff. Boston's going to be far more aggressive if they win in playing off of Josh Hart.
Oh, my God. Missoula will fine any person guarding Josh Hart who is within 15 feet of the man.
This is not a Hawks podcast, but there's what to talk about in terms of what the Hawks did and did not do.
You wrote today, right? Your grade book came out for game. Yeah. What was I forget what the exact line was. Essentially, you were like, for reasons that I don't know what, they have just not gone to that.
They never. I don't think they really. Maybe for one stretch early in the series, they went to Okongwu on Hart, and otherwise they just didn't do it. And at some point, you're getting blown out 3 straight games. You would think they'd pull that lever, but they didn't. But Boston will. Boston will. Philadelphia will be a more, maybe an easier matchup for him. But yes, there's a lot to carry over here, and it's not just on the offensive side of the ball. It's on the defensive side of the ball. And I want to say one more thing about the wing on Cat strategy. I know what he's willing to do now, and he did it better this season than he's ever done it before in his career, is go hit the offensive glass. If you're not getting your touches in the course of the offense, go get your own touches.
Yes.
And he will do that more than he's ever done it before. He found that gear this season and understanding of, hey, if the wing on Cat strategy can maybe limit the passes I can receive, well, I can go get the ball anyway. So I think he's got a lot of solutions. That's what I mean. I feel like there really has been growth for a player who, I think a fair criticism of him over the first X amount of years of his career is he didn't really grow from his rookie season until now.
Yeah.
And I think at this point you have to understand that this is a player who has really improved and has varied his game, has different aspects of his game now. He just notched 2 triple-doubles, the first 2 playoff triple-doubles of his career in a row. That's wild.
And he did it tonight like he wasn't even trying. Like it was an afterthought. And yet the defense is more for me, the defense is more impressive. And
look, on the defensive side, he showed against Boston last year he can hold up.
Yeah.
Like that's not a question. And like, do we think he can guard Embiid? As well as anybody can. Like he'll get his reps there. They can also move him to Oubre and put OG on Embiid for stretches. Mitchell Robinson will obviously play a big part in that series as well. We know what he's done on Embiid before. The Knicks they know both of these matchups very well.
They do.
These are very familiar foes, and there's an excitement about it, like not knowing exactly who they're going to play, but neither will be a shock to the system. Like they know how to play these teams.
Boston on a little run here. It's down to a 14-point lead, just under 8 to go. Philly has the ball. I'll keep periodically updating as I see that game on my television. You mentioned a name of a gentleman. I believe Anne Hathaway is taken, so I won't call him Mr. Anne Hathaway. OG Anunoby in that series played like one of the 30 best players in the NBA. 25, 30, something. Right? Am I in the right range?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
stats speak for
the shooting
themselves.
percentage
Yeah,
is worth, you know.
I think it's better. I mean, if he shoots like that, he's better than 20. He's top 10 player in the league.
Yes, if he shoots like that, it's a different conversation. I think that was a 6-game like out of body experience from the shooting perspective. That was insane. But at the same time, just like I'm kind of asking you about how real is it with Cat, it feels like a lot of this is very real for OG.
Yeah, he's gonna miss shots. But what the beauty of OG is when he's right mentally and physically.
Important caveat.
He certainly seems like he's 100% locked in right now. It's not hard for him to generate offense. He allows the game to come to him, and the amount of dunks he got in this series, and then he gets open for corner threes, and then when you need a little self creation, he can give it to you. You don't want to rely on the self creation, but when he's feeling good, end the shot clock, whatever, he's more than capable of getting a little step back mid ranger or just like a jab three. These are things that are very valuable skills at end of shot clock that he provides on top of the elite role player stuff that he just does with ease. And we're not even talking about defense yet. But that's just the offensive side of the ball. Like his game is always translatable because he's a dependent, reliant player that does catch and shoot and dunk really well. And that doesn't go away no matter what series he's playing in.
I mean, defensively tonight, it was. You ever see the movie Quiz Show?
No.
Oh, well, it's about an old game show where there was a bit of a scandal because one of the contestants got the answers ahead of time. It felt like OG got the answers ahead of the test tonight because he was just, oh wow, there's OG with another steal. Oh, there's another steal. And there was a stretch of basketball where it was like anywhere the Hawks were, he was there and he was taking the basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to a point where it's not just the guy he's guarding, but you can't even dribble in his vicinity.
No,
because if he's guarding a perimeter guy and you come across or snake a pick and roll to his side, he just lunges at you and gets the ball, and he can go on runs almost on his own. Like, there are very few players in the league because he goes on defensive runs by himself the way that a scorer goes on a run on the offensive end. Like, he just totally blows up an offense by himself for stretches of games.
Shout out to Fred, who wrote a great piece for The Athletic today, in which he shared some conversations he has had with executives from other teams around the league. And go read the article because it's worth your time. But essentially, the level of respect that exists league-wide for OG Anunoby is just kind of one of the literally handful of givens defensively. And then on offense, I don't know if you felt this way. Obviously, look, team goes down by 60 points or whatever the fuck it was in the first half. But to me, the purest representation of the Knicks breaking the Hawks' will was, it seemed like at one point they just kind of gave up in their efforts to guard him. They were just he's just too big.
They were just wrapping him up when he went to the rim. Also, they had no interest. Yeah, I think that is symbolic of just a general what happened in the series. Is the Knicks?
Let's get to that. It's a good transition. Yeah. So what happened? How did the series turn into?
I just think at the end of the day, it was the Knicks just physically overwhelmed them. They understood that it was and credit the broadcast. They talked about this a little bit today, but the Knicks just constant leaning on you and pushing you around, and they're so big and so strong, and they're older than the Hawks, and they're more experienced than the Hawks, and the Hawks just gave up ground. They couldn't hold their ground anymore with all the leaning and the shoving and the moving. And the Knicks can find that gear. They do it in most of their playoff series in the Brunson era. They can exert a physical will of just pure strength and effort that can absolutely overwhelm opponents. And I think the Hawks just sensed that physical advantage and eventually wilted under it. And I think that's what you saw.
Yeah, and which is so funny because I'm fond of saying, I'm not obviously not the only one, but your defense is only as good as your weakest defender, and Jalen Brunson, and there are times where it feels or has felt over the years like the Knicks, regardless of who they put around Brunson, he is out there and it's just too weak of a spot. And then when Towns isn't doing his part of his fair share, we feel a certain type of way. And then there are nights like tonight where it's like, no, it's actually about like everything else. And oh, by the way, Brunson is actually not the pushover that you like. And you've written about this, and you've pointed, and DJ too, both of you have spotlighted this from the middle of the season when it started happening. He, not to say that he was all defense in the series or anything, but like he made a commitment. He's like, this needs to change.
Yeah.
And he did, to his credit.
No question. I think we talk about basketball and we talk about all sorts of different skills, matchups, etc. We don't often talk enough about how important strength is in the league. And you just look up and down the Knicks roster.
Normal body Brunson.
No.
I love when you put that. Sorry.
That's crazy, by the way.
That was insane.
Like, do you think like Jalen Brunson's not in shape? Like, he's a top 10 NBA player.
He's like in a beer league, you know.
Like, what am I reading? Okay.
Moving on.
But that's the thing. Even their weak defenders, quote unquote, Brunson, Towns, are immensely strong people. They are beasts. Yeah. And then you go to OG, and Josh Hart is a specimen. The guy's a beast, and he leans on you and he pushes you. And you even go to the bench. Deuce is an ox. He's strong. and you go down the line. I mean, they're just Mitchell Robinson is like one of the biggest dudes in the league, straight up.
Well, Dyson Daniels, talk about having enough.
I'm just saying, like, we especially over a 7-game series, like that can wear on you. Just that size and strength, and you knew that was an advantage going into the series. And we talked about, Jalen Johnson, that probably being a little bit of a weakness of his game, that he looks like this big wing, but he actually is not the strongest, and that's something he needs to get beat. I hope he learned from this series. He's gonna have to get a little muscle, especially in his lower body, to be able to push other guys back. But yeah, like this is what the Knicks can do. They can impose their strength on you, and that was a unique basketball experience. We've watched a lot of basketball, John. That was crazy.
So Game 6 against the Celtics last year was definitely an experience. There was a part of that or something baked into that was like, so the Tatum injury happened. They got a brief high off of that. They like rallied around the injury initially in Game 5, and then the Game 6, you could feel the air then get let out of the balloon. This felt different. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like one team that has been there before and that knows what it like has a goal this year and is very serious about it. Clearly, at this point, they're very serious about attaining that goal. And another team that I guess I'm not like it was because when they got out to that 9-5 lead, which seems like a million years ago now, it was like, oh, the Hawks are not going to let go. This is going to be a basketball game. And then it was like literally somebody flipped a switch. And I don't know that I've ever seen anything quite like it.
They couldn't throw a pass. I mean, it got to a crazy point. What was it, a 50-9 run or 53-9?
I was trying to take notes during it was 35-6 at one point, 45-7. The score of this game was 72-22 at one point. I think about that. 72-22, and they were down 9-5. Man, I could just start making guttural noises. Who have we not talked about? We haven't talked about the roommates. The roommates pod. Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart. It's crazy, man. Karl-Anthony Towns, I think I said that's something I did yesterday, and I'll say it now. I think there's an argument that he's been the best player in the East in the first round, most impactful player. Like, I don't know. There's all these different words we throw around, but like what he just did to the Hawks in that series and the lack of answers and just having his way without even like breaking a sweat. I think there's an argument that he was like if there was an MVP of the first round, maybe he would be in the East, to be clear, in the Eastern Conference. And then you could make the argument, oh, well, actually, he's not even the best player in the Knicks in the first round. It was OG Anunoby, because look at the numbers and look at the defensive impact and the whole thing. And yet there was a part of me that when I look at the series Josh Hart just had, I'm like, man, that I think it felt like almost he was not the engine. That's the wrong word, but sorry for the obvious pun, but it felt like he was the heart of this win from the outset in terms of like the defensive assignment and like unrelenting on that end of the court. And I could not be more impressed with the series that Hart just had.
Yeah, and I think he gets overshadowed a bit, partially because the Knicks started the series with him on Johnson, and he was phenomenal there.
Yep.
But they finished the series with OG on Johnson, so he was just a little bit less spotlighted on the defensive end, but he was magnificent especially defensively, just magnificent. And then getting the Knicks in transition and doing everything else that he does. But I would agree with you. Like from the tip of game one, it felt like he was just like. He carried a certain energy and effort through the entire series, and I defined the series in some ways. Yes. Even if OG's performance at the end will overshadow it, even Katz maybe will as well. And Hart didn't shoot it great. Again, made a couple threes tonight. That's big going into whatever series where they're going to leave him open, right? So another like nice development. So yeah, he was spectacular, and I've been really critical of him on defense a lot this year, and since he's really been a Knick, I think he has
he knows where the switch is
on that end. But he's a playoff riser. This guy, he just is like, and you can rely on it. And you can book it. Like come playoff time, this guy's gonna lock in and be a huge positive for your team, and he did it again this series.
Before we get to Brunson, we'll touch on the bench, and then we'll get you out of here. I won't keep you up here all night. From Mark, just put this in the chat, asking about adjustments what do you guys think of any adjustments that were made by Mike Brown after game 3? We were critical of him. Curious if you saw anything specific. So yeah.
I would say he over adjusted in game 2 for no reason. And we talked about that, but I think
we talked about it.
I think, look, he switched.
Philly's going to win, by the way. Sorry. I just wanted that game's essentially over.
This is like, what a night.
Crazy.
Go to game 7. I mean,
crazy.
When do they play? Is game 7 Saturday night?
So they will play game 7 on Saturday. And I think the specific schedule of Saturday will depend on the Minnesota result. But yes, Boston will play Philly.
And then game 1 will be Monday.
Yep.
Unreal.
So the Knicks now have the next 3 days off.
Man, and that's by the way, I think that's better than 5 days off. So like that's what I'm saying. I mean, like you got the perfect situation. Not to say that game 1, but it's just perfect.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Adjustments after game 3.
What are we talking about? Oh yeah, Mike Brown. He so he goes back to he started the series with Cat on Daniels, and I think that had its advantages, and you saw it in game 1, and the Hawks countered that in some really smart ways, mostly by getting CJ McCollum to go just off on that Brunson matchup, which, again, I think there were good reasons to have Brunson on McCollum. And I'm not sure if Brunson stays on McCollum this whole series. If 35-year-old CJ McCollum can just hold that level of play, you're making a bet in a certain way that player can't just play, average 30 a game anymore. But, okay, he makes the switch. He puts Hart on McCollum. And Hart totally takes him out of the game with his physicality, and McCollum becomes a total non-factor. Credit to Josh Hart. And Brunson has to guard Daniels. And again, I thought in game 5 there were some challenges there, and if the Hawks make more shots off of the Dyson Daniels short rolls, maybe that game's a closer game, because I thought Daniels played well in this game. First of all, Brunson wasn't blitzing as aggressively, so he was able to stay home a little bit better. And then I thought the New York Knicks wings were so good on those Daniels screens staying attached, so that Daniels couldn't even get free for the roll. And if he did get it, they collapsed on him so hard that Daniels had a miserable first quarter offensively. He was left open for shots, missed them all, or he made 1 3, missed the other 2, and then turned it over a bunch on that short roll with guys collapsing. So I just thought, this was an obvious lever to pull at some point, to put Brunson on Daniels. It was like, that was always the fallback option. They did go to it, and it was perfect. It obviously worked very well. So credit to Brown for that. And on the offensive end, maybe we haven't talked about this enough, John. Like I really believe in my heart that the Knicks ceiling is in some sense dependent on Jalen Brunson learning that this team can't get where it wants to go with him dribbling around for whole possessions. And for as great as he is, and as great as he's been for this team, I have always felt that he commandeered too many possessions, especially in the playoffs when you're matchup hunting. And for Brown to either get through to him or for him and Cat to get to a point where he understood, I have two options here. And I thought that this flip switched in game 5 for him. Either I'm going downhill right away, or I'm giving the ball to Cat and moving off ball. Those are the options. I'm not going to dribble around, get a first screen, get a second screen, try to find the matchup that I want, that drain 15 seconds off the clock, and then have to do something crazy at the end. That's not good offense. But I'm either going to go right at Daniels, which he figured out a way to do. Just go downhill. You're still as strong as Daniels, if not stronger down there once you get there. I don't want to play around with my dribble with him, but if I can get him down to the block, I can score on him. We saw it again tonight. Either do that or move off it, and let other guys make plays. If he internalizes that, you saw again, like I think these last 2 games, you saw the ceiling of the offense when it's moving, when he's an off-ball threat, when other guys have the ball in their hands. It's a different basketball team. So I credit Mike Brown because I think this has been a long battle with Brunson. Yeah. I think Tibbs had it at times. Now I think Tibbs prefers to play that way because he trusts Brunson so entirely. And again, they had a lot of success. I'm not downplaying the success, but I've always believed this. We've talked about it many times, John. Like if he can limit the amount of time he's holding the ball and this offense can flow more, that's when this team is at its absolute best. I just believe that wholeheartedly. So I give Brown credit for instilling that in this team when they got to it when they needed it, man. Like they ran their offense through somebody else. We haven't seen that since Brunson's been here.
There is an irony that we spent all season talking about Cat buy-in, and we have spent 2 years talking, again, I've driven this conversation, talking about, can you trust Cat? Can you trust Cat to do the right thing, make the right play? And what may put this team over the edge is what you just said about Brunson. And Brunson being the guy to, I don't want to call it sacrifice or buy-in, but like embrace less is more, which is, I think, because of where he came from and all of that kind of stuff is just so. That's why I never look at it as selfishness. I just think it is just antithetical to his. And you played the sport at a high level, so you could speak better about it than me. But it just, I that's why I'm always sympathetic to him. Maybe overly sympathetic, but yeah.
And he's been so successful, and he's
we're not talking about
who's been brilliant in the playoffs. Like yes. I'm talking about him like critically, but he's been brilliant in the postseason. He's been one of the best playoff players in the league for years now. But it's a ceiling conversation. It's not about like we know he can do it. It's just this team functions differently when he's moving a little bit off the ball, and I think Brown wanted that early in the season. I think he capitulated a bit to Brunson as the season went on, and it became more a classic Brunson offense with again, I think the offense was modernized this year and just generally better and more diverse. But I do think they got away from it, and then to find it again here with Cat as the hub and all that, that flex action, and they had a nice variation off of it to start this game with a little where Brunson was setting up Cat with the down screen and then coming back off a double screen. Just beautiful. He was running some beautiful stuff in this series, and you give him credit for that. The offense just looked as dynamic, as diverse, as multifaceted as we've seen it all season in these 2 games. And that is, again, like a reason to be extremely excited going into round 2.
I think that's as good a place as any to bid you adieu, only because... Oh, wait.
All right. Dude. Where is he? Benji's got the Saratoga.
Close out with a blowout. Atlanta, go home. Guys, that was insane. Atlanta, congrats on those 2 1-point wins. But you got to see what a contender looks like. Guys, breaking news. 10 more points just got added on to the Knicks lead. The lights were too bright, ladies and gentlemen. They took a 1-game lead in the series and then stopped leading for the rest of the series. Benji, what you got?
Where you at, Michael Pina?
Where you at, Pina?
Oh, no.
The Knicks are going to lose, and of course they're going to lose, right?
Where you
How
at,
about
Nate
those?
Duncan? Where you
Nate
at,
Duncan?
Nate Duncan?
Where you at? Where's everybody after game 3? All the CJ McCollum columns. Goodness. Breaking news. The Knicks just added 10 more points to their lead. They were down by 61 points at one point in this game. Fellas.
If the Knicks had somewhere to hide Brunson, can you imagine how much they would have won by?
Oh, my goodness.
You're not wrong, Benji. Some numbers for you. Their 61-point lead. The largest ever at any point in any playoff game in NBA history.
Seriously?
Holy
Nobody
cow.
had ever had a 61-point lead. This is according to the internet. I could be wrong, but I believe the internet.
I trust it.
The Knicks currently have the highest net rating in the postseason,
They
by the
fucking
way,
better.
if you didn't think they would. That was the biggest lead I'd ever seen in the playoffs since the Falcons were up 28-3 in the Super Bowl. Thankfully, this game ended differently. Am I right, Atlanta? Breaking news. The Knicks just added 10 more points to their lead.
I heard they took a field trip to Magic City.
Field trip to Magic City. We're going to try all the wings. Tonight, some fried hawk wings. Absolutely. Fellas, let's play our favorite game at the end of a postseason. You ready? We're going to play Get Some. All right? So, CJ McCollum. Benji, you first.
Get some!
Get Some. Who's next? Jalen Johnson. Welcome to your first postseason. You've been baptized by the New York Knicks. Jonathan Macri.
Jalen Johnson can get some.
Get Some. We go to I think the soundtrack
Dyson
is about
Daniels.
to.
Go there.
Dyson Daniels. Benji.
Dyson Daniels, your elbow to Mitchell Robinson's ribs. You think you had Brunson in an Australian jail? He broke out of your Australian jail, son. You can't shoot. You're an offensive liability, and you can get some.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the most improved player who probably should have improved his play this postseason. Jonathan Macri.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker with your 5 turnovers tonight, 2 more than made field goals that you had. You can get some.
I just realized he raised a trophy before this game. That is amazing. And then he lost by 100 points. All right. Ludacris. Benji.
Oh, God. Don't hate on Ludacris.
Ludacris can.
Ludacris is a legend, but he can get some.
Matt Ryan. John Macri.
He was on my fantasy team 1 year, but he could get some.
Chipper Jones. Benji.
Oh,
Chipper Jones. You should take that one.
I was about to say, Andrew should take this one.
Get some, you big-toothed loser. Greg Maddux. Benji.
Greg Maddux with ABS, you wouldn't have been in the Hall of Fame. You couldn't throw strikes. You can get some.
That's right. John Macri. Gucci Mane.
I'm not really familiar with his.
Who's the guy that got tackled by Brunson?
That was Boozy.
No, that was Boozy. I learned that tonight.
That was epic. That Mike Freeman
both of them
was so good.
can get some.
All right, I'll just take this one. John Rocker, you piece of shit.
Oh, I remember.
You can get some forever and ever on behalf of all the minorities in New York City. And then Benji, we'll do one more round. Ronald Acuna Jr.
Ronald Acuna Jr.
The third best right fielder in baseball, by the way.
Are they in first place, Atlanta?
Can we not talk about an actual world of baseball right now? Can we just
should
tell Atlanta to get some?
You should take these Atlanta Braves. I have no ill will to the Atlanta Braves.
But you should. Some might say that Acuna is better than Judge, so you should tell Ronald Acuna Jr. to.
Who would say that?
Someone in Atlanta.
I'll tell him. Ronald Acuna Jr. You can get some.
Get some. All right, Benji. Last one we'll do for you is Julio Jones, the wide receiver.
Oh, Julio Jones. They could have used Julio Jones in this game. Maybe he would have secured the ball a little bit. But he can go get some as well.
He can get some. John, Tyler Perry.
Haven't seen many of his films, so this feels bad, but he can get some.
And I'll do, last but not least, the Atlanta Hawks. And maybe those of you that create content for them that may be joining me for an exit interview tomorrow, all of you in the Magic City of Losers can get some.
Wait, but can you imagine if the refs weren't so for the Knicks? They could have kept this within 42.
I know, right? Benji, could you imagine if Reggie Miller would stop rooting for the Knicks in a playoff series?
I mean, they might have kept it below 40.
I know, right? We were joking around on the watch along. If the Hawks go on a 40-0 run right now, they'll be down 12. This is amazing. This is the most amazing night watching a team of losers lose in my entire life. Breaking news. Last breaking news alert. The Knicks have just added 10 more points onto their lead. Knicks in 6, baby.
5.
Knicks in 5, right?
Spiritually 5. Benji.
I love how we're just erasing a win from the Hawks.
We are.
I'm all for
They
it.
deserve it. It's 5.
I'm always so lucky to get to pick your brain after big games like this, and today is obviously no exception. So thank you for joining, and we collectively look forward to your insights ahead of the next round. Once we actually figure out who the Knicks are going to be playing in the next round.
Well, how lovely. We could sit back and relax here, get a nice weekend in, no pressure. Beautiful thing. Listen, I love that I got to be on this show after game 3 and game 6. That is that's a wild swing of emotions. But man, this team, they'll do that to you. But it's a good night. It's a good night for the New York Knicks. Thanks for having me, John. Andrew, you're the best. You guys have a good rest of your night. We'll talk soon.
Be well, brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, John. Long time no see. Didn't get to watch a whole ass watch along with you.
So we need to have a discussion. I don't know if anybody's going to be joining us for that discussion.
Would you like to go over our squad bet first before
let's go over our squad bet? Yes.
All right. We're going to go over our squad bet for tonight, presented by the fine folks over at Fanatics Sportsbook. For those who don't know what a squad bet is, Fanatics Sportsbook has created a new way to parlay, and that way you parlay. Hold on, I got to take down Mark is all over it tonight. A new way to parlay. We create a squad bet in which we pick a point, we pick a category and a total. And it's rebounds, points, 3-pointers, assists, and you pick 3 to 6 players to accrue or reach that total over the course of a game or the course of a night, and the squad has to get it. So if OG Anunoby had 70 points tonight, which he was almost on pace for, he would have hit this all by himself, but the squad has to get the total that you're reaching for. So we had Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby 70 points. We noticed in the first half when it was 75-25 at one point that there probably wasn't going to be a second half that mattered. So unfortunately,
spiritually, we won this going away.
We
did. Karl-Anthony Towns only 12, Brunson only 17. They obviously combined for 29. OG with 29 himself. So there's 58 right there. Not a single one of those players played over 29 minutes. Brunson played 29, Cat played 28, OG played 27. If you give them 35 minutes a pop, then this is an easy win for us. But
so I need to give credit where credit is due. We fell 12 points short tonight.
Yes, we did.
Someone in the Betting and Sweating group chat named Mensa said, I'm just going to read the text out loud. Hear me out. What if we added Mikal? Not that I expect him to score a bunch, but he would add a low number and be more carryable by the other squad mates. And then he put out Brunson, Mikal, OG, and Towns to score 80 plus is plus 210. And then I, like an idiot, pushed back on Mensa, who largely is right until he's not. But Mensa had it out for us to get to the 80.
We would have gotten it.
We would have hit it because
by 2.
By 2. We would have had 82 points between the 4 of those players. So lesson learned for the second round. Don't doubt Mensa, but shout out to the fine folks at Fanatics Sportsbook. I believe the squad that we're about to have this discussion with is here, John.
Yes, there we go.
We're going to add Jeff to the screen at the moment.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Jeff. How are you?
I am on screen. What's going on, guys?
How you doing? So, John, do you want to introduce this?
So we need to come to a decision here because a little birdie may have told me that our friends at Fanatics Sportsbook are going to allow us to have a series bet for the upcoming series, which, as of right now, we don't know who they're going to play, but what
happens when you don't win your series in 6 or less?
That's right, baby.
Gotta close out. If you're on the road.
Listen, not everybody could be the Knicks. Sorry, Boston. Man, the disrespect feels so weird coming out of my mouth.
Sounds good though. Just gotta say, it sounds good though. Please keep disrespecting
Brother,
the opponent.
I haven't even begun to spin the block yet. I was chilling. They came for me.
Oh, did they?
They came for me, right? And people said nothing. Now the tables have turned, and there's no one left to protect them.
Hell yeah!
But you know, those people's internet is gonna all of a sudden stop working.
Funny how that works.
Speaking of that, I got text to send too.
Well, I don't want to on that, but so we will once the opponent becomes official, we will have an official Knicks Film School boost of some kind on a Knicks official series bet. So whether it's Knicks in 4, Knicks in 5, Knicks in 6, Knicks in 7, I will just say at the top. Well, there is a part of me that wants to wait and see who they play. I'm strongly already leaning towards Knicks in 6 in the next round. I think that's the way that I kind of want us to go. I want to see who they play, obviously, but I'm leaning Knicks in 6.
Are we allowed? Oh, go ahead, Jeff. You first.
I was gonna say, I am also leaning that way because if it's one thing this team has showed me, they can surprise you, congratulatory and derogatory. Yeah. So I won't put it past them to beat themselves a game. I won't put it past them to get the belt one of these games. Like, it's just the way the playoffs are. But I'll tell you this much. If that team shows up for the rest of the playoffs, I've never been in this position before as a Knicks fan. Never ever. Where your team is routinely giving out belts in the postseason, you don't gotta sweat it. Home or road, doesn't matter.
Well, Jeff, to your point, we went on this yesterday on The Hangover. The Knicks have literally never had 3 straight games like this where they've won by double-digit points.
Nope.
Let alone the third game being by multiple times double-digit points, where they added 10 to the lead at a time. You know. So
first team.
This is literally the first time they've ever done this.
This is literally the first time any team has ever done this. First team to score 100 in a road playoff game before the other team scores 50. What?
It was almost before they scored 40. Almost.
Imagine if Mitch didn't get ejected.
You know how crazy it is, Jeff, that when he got ejected, what me and I think Sean was on with us, when we were watching the play, the scuffle live, I'm yelling, eject him, eject him. I was rooting for the ejection because he hurt his foot. I wanted him to go rest. And I just didn't need any swing or a punch to be thrown that could potentially get somebody else injured or suspended.
100%. He needed to go because he was ready to fight.
Go cool down. This doesn't matter. Exactly.
He's been ready to fight him since game 2. But I think one of the most insightful tweets I saw was from Bomani Jones when he said, one team is up 50 and they're the ones who want to fight. Mm-hmm. They're the ones starting the fight.
That's right.
That's real.
Can we add one other part to that scuffle that I just don't think is being mentioned enough? Mike Brown holding on to somebody's leg in the spirit of Jeff Van Gundy. I just don't think anybody's acknowledging enough that happened in a playoff game with Mike Breen calling it. You know? Let's
acknowledge this. Mike Brown ended up coaching a phenomenal series. And I say that not only about the series itself, but everything that we saw in the series was a culmination of what he has been trying to institute for training camp in 82 games, which is why, to get back to what our prediction is going to end up being, I personally feared if it was going to be against Boston, they have game 7 at home, so they'll be favored. Like Missoula versus Mike Brown was going to be a bloodbath. I don't think we should feel that way anymore. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair to Mike Brown.
I don't know if I agree with you. Mike Brown's reputation should be boosted after 3 straight wins by this manner. I just also think we need to once again acknowledge what the Boston Celtics actually are. There's a lot of guys playing their first postseason minutes ever, first postseason minutes that matter as well, and you're seeing their roster limitations bear its ugly head as they try to close out a Sixers team with a ton of confidence, which is why I will also co-sign both of you. Look, Knicks in 6 was my pick for Knicks Hawks. I agree with Benji. I think retroactively we should all just say this was a Knicks in 5 series that went 6.
Knicks in 5, new game plus.
Right, like +1, exactly. I'm gonna say Knicks in 6, no matter who the opponent is. Knicks in 6, no matter who it is.
Look, I talk about Boston obviously with a lot of respect, too much respect, as some would say, because of what they are capable of when they are firing all cylinders. If tonight showed us anything, it's that maybe we should be talking about the Knicks in that respect as the team that if they are firing all cylinders, doesn't matter what you do.
Brother, Mikal Bridges sent them to hell in the third quarter.
Oh,
yeah.
It was nobody else. I apologize. Dad life. I didn't get a chance to tap in the post game. I'll be replay game.
You're good.
But I don't know if y'all spoke about it. But bro, he went for the head.
He did.
Mikal Bridges personally went for the head. That's the Celtics guy I was telling y'all about on the ride along. He's back. He's back. And if OG Johnson, OG Anunoby is better than Jalen Johnson.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't this series.
Absolutely.
I'm calling it.
Yeah,
I'm calling it. He's better than Jalen Johnson, and I didn't think I would say that before. He's all NBA. If OG didn't pick up his classic 3-week injury and run out of gas for a random month of the year, we're having conversations.
You know, that's not crazy. At his best, and I think his best encompassed probably a total, if you look at like 15 games beginning of the year and then how he ended the year, so maybe close to half the season. At his best, I do think he would have been in the All NBA conversation. But
best compliment I could give is this OG Anunoby certainly is better than Jalen Johnson. This OG Anunoby might be the reason why the Knicks are playing in June.
There's a stretch. OG goes through a stretch every year where I say, am I watching the best player in the league?
Right.
It's
crazy. It's Kawhi reincarnated, right?
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if y'all saw this. Cat joins Wilt Chamberlain as the only 7-footers in NBA history with multiple postseason triple doubles.
Hell yeah. Good for him. You want to hear the craziest? You want to hear the Wilt and Cat? You want to hear the craziest stat about Cat tonight? What's the 4?
Field goal attempts.
So I'm going even crazier. So Jeff, how many field goal attempts? How many field goals did you make in this game tonight? Did you make in this game tonight?
I roll with the bit. 0.
0. John, how many field goals did you make in this game tonight?
That would be 0.
Okay. I also had 0. Mark, put your hand up. How many field goals did you have? Mark's holding up a 0.
0.
Okay. I also had 0. The 4 of us combined had 1 less field goal made than Karl-Anthony Towns.
I'll do you one better than that.
What
would Fanatics, our friends at Fanatics, have set the line at? Pacome Dadier more made field goals than Karl-Anthony Towns.
Oh, I wouldn't be on the post game if I bet
That's
that.
amazing.
I'd be on an island.
That's amazing.
I'd be on an island.
There you go.
Wait, hold on.
All right.
Johnny Come Lately is Sean's here. Where is he? Let's get this out of here. Okay.
John, if you can join the post game, there's literally a spot in the corner for you.
There we go. We got
There
him.
we go.
Okay.
Right. We have gone Knicks in 6. Is that okay with you to complete the squad?
Against who?
Doesn't matter.
Either one.
Doesn't matter.
If it's against the Celtics, it's 6. If it's against the Sixers, it's 7.
You have the series going longer, so the Knicks will have to win in 7 against the team that's a 7 seed.
I say that, and I've been thinking about that, and I say that because
Not crazy.
They knew they had the answers to the test against Atlanta, but they decided to not study one night.
Mood,
but
by the way.
it was finals week, and they decided, like, we've all been there,
Yeah,
Come on, man, it's party on Friday. Nobody's trying to study.
Yeah, exactly. And they know they have the answers to the test against Boston, but I can see them taking a little bit longer against Philadelphia. That's why. Because and granted, I do not trust number 21 on the Sixers to play 2 weeks in a row at a high level because his body won't allow it. But I'm gonna tap into my inner Jonathan Macri, and I'm going to say Knicks in 7 against the Sixers. But But as we said on the post game, as we said during the watch long, it will be so Sixers for them to just completely piss down their leg in Game 7 after such a spirited performance.
Game 7 against the Celtics.
Against the Celtics,
Against the Celtics, yeah.
We will await what happens on Saturday night. In the meantime, I think we are going to follow Jalen Brunson's advice as he talked about it on the podium afterwards. We'll celebrate tonight. And maybe we'll extend our celebration a little bit longer because we're going to do KFS playoff hangover tomorrow.
Oh, those boys ain't going home tonight, by the way. Josh might have to, but everybody else is.
Yeah, they're staying in
I
Atlanta.
know exactly where they're going to.
The boys not going home tonight.
Not there, John. Not there. There are plenty of establishments in the city of Atlanta where you can enjoy yourself.
Oh, they're going to compound.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to compound.
They're going to Rose. They in Buckhead. Straight up.
We're going to still have a new Patreon tier where Sean gives guide to adult establishments in the city of Atlanta.
Don't put that voodoo on me, Ricky Bobby. Please. Earlier it was
man.
I gamble for a living, and now it's
that's crazy.
Yeah, he said that on Rihanna's internet, and now it's if you mean adult, you mean like places where they serve alcoholic beverages. The man to talk to is this guy right here. He knows all this.
Now we're all.
Oh wow! Look at Jeff's face.
No, adult beverages, not adult.
Oh, beverages.
Not adult
beverages.
I was about to say, what are we doing? Like, what are you doing to me right now? Like, what's happening?
No.
He called you Fats Domino. That's what he called you.
What is happening?
I don't know. All right, we gotta get to. There's people
Super
waiting.
chats incoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody have a drink with them?
Yeah.
No. Okay. All right.
just
I
enough
don't,
left.
but I'll just on to the second round like we always do. Knicks in 6, baby.
Knicks in 6.
Oh man.
Beautiful.
So, are you ready for 3-point variance theater on Saturday? It's gonna be like Cats. It's gonna be like Chicago. It's gonna maybe like Hamilton. And I want the criticism to be, man, you know how the Celtics are. They're gonna win Game 7. They're just gonna put up bad threes. Like as if that's a viable outcome.
That's what they're
Why
gonna
wasn't
do.
Tatum playing towards the end? Did Missoula just go full Missoula and was like, oh, if the bench gets it, they get it?
Yeah, he pulled him kind of early. But
Tatum and Brown played less than 30 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
Yo, you know Missoula's running the town back the whole plane ride. Yo, he's
Just on
getting,
replay.
this is what he lives for.
Yes.
It's gonna be fun.
2 rewatches of There Goes College Soccer.
Alrighty.
John,
All right.
enjoy the post game.
Jeff,
Nixon,
Sean,
Thanks,
Andrew, thank you.
2:30 tomorrow.
Yes, we will see you at 2:30 tomorrow for KFS Playoff Hangover. But before that, we got a whole lot of post-game show left. So we got Mark on the 1s and 2s. Shout out to him for his patience and being willing to go past his bedtime tonight. Hey, got over 3,000 people watching right now. Thanks to every one of you. Let's enjoy tonight. Really, let's enjoy tonight because a lot of years went by where the thought of winning a playoff series was just a very foreign concept. 22 years, in fact, over the course of 22 years, the Knicks won one first-round playoff series. And now they have won a first-round playoff series 4 years in a row. So we will enjoy this, we will appreciate it, and we will pay it the appropriate amount of respect while also acknowledging, like the Knicks do, that the job is nowhere close to being over yet. Okay. So, Mark, let's roll. Starting with, of course, we got to start with the one and only Robert Cross. This is over. It's your boy, John. Bring on Philly. I want the chip. Hashtag 53 wins. I don't even want to know when Robert sent this. But probably in the second quarter, if I had to guess. Thanks, Robert, for starting us off, and appreciate you for being the OG, the OG of OGs. Dan Hidalgo, what's going on, Dan? This isn't Knicks in 6. This is Knicks in 5 plus the first quarter. Yeah, it's going to be a weird series to think back on. And And I think, again, I want to go back and do the research, like largest margin of victory by a team in specifically a 6-game series win. I can't imagine there are many. I mean, again, the Hawks won 2 games and the Knicks thoroughly dominated the series. Just crazy. Thanks, Dan. Robert with another one. That lob to Money Mitch is how similar basket to how Knicks win the title later this year. Wasn't quite English, Robert, but I get where you're coming from. Hashtag 53 wins. Play Mitch, pay Mitch. That's it. That's where we're at. Dan with another one. Largest win margin for the Knicks in a playoff game was 38 until tonight. Now it is 50. What was the final margin? 51. So, yeah, they stomped on that record. Feels good. Shrewd, clever brick. What's going on, Shrewd? I think this game should improve the starting five's net rating. Fire Brown if he doesn't empty the bench for the entire second half. Hashtag revenge for 2021. So Sean was talking about that a little bit on the post game, the notion of revenge for 2021. And as and I was kind of pointing out that, like, I didn't really feel that way. Like 2021, both teams are different. Like, I've never really felt Atlanta was a top level rivalry, even with that playoff series. And Andrew pointed out that, like, if you spend a lot of time, in Sean's words, on Rihanna's internet, I think this absolutely feels like revenge for 2021, and good to put that series behind us for good. So yeah, thanks, Rude. Iceman Sham, Suns versus Mavs Game 7 was the worst blowout in an elimination game I ever saw until tonight. Straight belt to ass. That's the game with the Luka Devin Booker meme, right? Or GIF or whatever it is. Yes, I'll never forget that. Jalen Brunson, of course, prominent part of that basketball game, prominent part of this basketball game tonight. Yeah, this was unlike anything we've ever seen. Most points in a playoff game, by the way, in franchise history. Just see that on my television screen. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. Thanks, Iceman. Alex. Mrs. Fargo Tufro says, let's fucking go Knicks. I knew tonight was a night when I got 2 texts. One was from my wife, who texted me that hold on, I'll go ahead and I'll just read the text. Holy shit, they're up 29 points. Clearly, this was early. I called she called her cousin Danielle because her niece it's her birthday. I called Danielle to wish Val a happy birthday, and I came back to the radio and it was 29 points because I guess before she made that phone call, it was probably like single digits. It happened quick. And then my mom, the first time ever, my mom texted me these 3 letters, OMG. That was in the first half. That kind of a night. Thanks, Alex. Zach Horowitz, another one of the OGs. Y'all notice OG's defensive rebounds in traffic have been next level. Also, love the option of feisty full court press with Jordan Clarkson, Grand Theft Alvarado, and Deuce. Best Knicks 3-game run in 25 plus years. Am I right? This might be happening. OG's rebounding. How many did he have tonight? This is so funny. He actually would not have covered his over-under. His over-under for rebounds tonight was 7.5, and he only got 7, in part because he only played 29 minutes. But the rebounding piece has been so huge for him, and his physicality on the boards, and Benji and DJ have talked about this, allowed the Knicks to, play a little bit looser with the matchups because you could trust OG is going to box out essentially like a center. So that's huge. Completely agree with you with the full court press thing. Frankly, they should be doing that. I mean, you think back to the Pacers last year. One of the many things that allowed the Pacers to go on the run that they did was they played such a deep bench that when those guys came in, they were willing and able, ready, willing, and able to expend so much energy. And then as far as the best Knick 3-game run in 25 years. So if we're going to say the caveat that it has to be a playoff run. Knicks playoff history. Looking at it right now. Give me a sec. I mean, first and foremost, there's not a ton of times where they've won 3 playoff games in a row. The last time they won 3 playoff games in a row was, well, I mean, unless you want to be like Game 6 against the Pistons last year and then games 1 and 2 against the Celtics. I mean, those were 3 crazy wins, but that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about is like the highest level of basketball that they have attained for 3 games in a row, and that certainly wouldn't qualify because they didn't play very well in the first 3 quarters of the games 1 and 2 versus Boston. They did not come close to reaching this level in games 3, 4, and 5 against the Cavs in 2023. Round 1 against the Celtics in 2013 was not this. You know where I might go back to? Sorry, I'm just giving this a quick look. I mean, they had sweeps in the first round in like 97, 96, 2000, you know, and some of those were obviously good. Where I might go back to, and the margin of victory certainly does not come close, but I think I actually have to go back to not their last series against the Hawks, because that was in 2021, the series before that against Atlanta. The second round sweep against the Hawks in 1999, that team that went to the finals. Again, the margins of victory were not as impressive, but I distinctly remember watching that series and remember feeling from opening tip of game 1 until the final moments of game 4 that like the Hawks didn't stand a fucking chance of forget winning the series, didn't stand a chance of winning a game. That's like the closest. I think that's the closest comp is that other Atlanta series. But this, you know, probably bests it. Thanks, Zach. And then we got another one, Zach, coming up right here. Clyde getting on the mic is so good. I saw it. I didn't get a chance to hear it, but it seemed cool that he was talk. I thought just Breen would be cool enough tonight. Daniels is a bitch. Of course, they have to get that call wrong. Great to have Breen broadcast tonight, and I completely second Breen's sentiments about how it's a shame that the first round was not on the local broadcast, because what a delight that it would have been to be able to listen to a lot of these games on the local broadcast. But what are you going to do? League has bills to pay. Thanks, Zach. Iceman with another one. I don't want to jump the gun, but I think the media crowned Boston best in the East too soon. I mean, I'm not obviously a part of the media, but I've felt for a while now that if the Knicks play the Celtics in a series, I think it wouldn't have been unfair to say the Celtics should be favored. Now, I do feel like it would be unfair to say the Celtics should be favored. Like the Knicks should be favored in that series. The Knicks should be favored to come out of the East right now. Like, why should the Knicks not be favored to come out of the East? Seriously. Like, based on what we've seen, based on if we care about what we're seeing, if we care about the visual evidence of the basketball games that are being played, why should the Knicks not be favorites in the East? You know? They're just playing out of their minds. And they have the talent. You know they have the talent. And they have the track record. Again, it's 4th straight year they're out of the first round. Thanks, Iceman. Andrew Badau. Kuminga, Kuminya, cum bucket, cum pants, Kumpel Stilskin. Put it on a t-shirt. Okay. Thanks, Andrew. Jack Corcoran, what's going on, Jack? BTA of biblical proportions. Even Boston Game 6, it took us a quarter to separate. Should be a nice confidence boost to what will be a war in the next round. If I recall correctly, that game that you're talking about against Boston in the first quarter, think Boston got out to a little bit of a lead. The Knicks were up by 6 after the first quarter. And if I look at the play-by-play, which I'm looking at right now, did the Celtics actually lead? It was tied at 16. So it was tied at 16, and then the Knicks finished the quarter pretty strong, and they were up 26-20, and then they ended up blowing the doors off. But that game got like truly out of hand. I would say the Knicks went on a run to make it 49-27 with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. But still, that's 22. 22 in the NBA is like, And then at halftime, it was 64-37. So like, it took until the last 5 minutes of the second quarter for that game to be over. This thing was over before the end of the first quarter. So, yeah. Rob DeLuzman, what's going on, Rob? KFS fam, this is a very special moment for a very special team. They are truly locked in. # Let's go Knicks. Been saying it. I think it may have been the quote that got that SNY sent around from my appearance on the putback the other day. I said it to Bondi, said it to Begley. I've said it at other times this year. If the Knicks don't make the finals, it's not going to be because the Celtics or whoever beat them. It's going to be because they beat themselves. Watching tonight and watching how they've come out the last 3 games, I mean, yeah, famous last words, whatever. It seems like this team has moved past the point where they're going to beat themselves. If they have, man, shit. I just don't see who's beating them in a 7-game series. I just don't. I don't see it. Thanks, Rob. Current odds to win the East, courtesy of our friends at Fanatics Sportsbook. Celtics are still favored, plus 170. Cavs, plus 250. Knicks, plus 300. So, if you're feeling like I'm feeling, the bet's there for you. Austin Z, what's going on, Austin? I was stressing all day long, me and you both, waiting for a nail biter. I've never relaxed faster. This was delirious. Adversity lit a fire under this team. I wonder, again, Benji talked about the adjustments and like how maybe Mike Brown was over adjusting. What, like, man, they were losing in this series. They were losing in this series. And now we're here. We're talking about this team like we're talking about them. Was it adversity that lit a fire under them? I don't know. I really don't know. I think, honestly, I think the adjustment made by Brunson was as big a thing as any. To embrace letting Cat run the show and him doing less. Thanks, Austin. Appreciate you, man. Another one. Thank God I hammered the Pacome over. Oh, man. Yes. 2 made field goals. Amen to that. Great stuff. Yeah. Brolic Jesus. I witnessed. Let's fucking go Knicks. Keep this energy and consistency. Thanks, Brolic. John Leary. How many times is Richard Jefferson going to say these two teams were evenly matched? LOL. I laughed every time he said it. I did not listen to one word Richard Jefferson said tonight or at any point during these playoffs, so I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'll take your word for it. These teams weren't evenly matched. They were never evenly matched, which is why we were sitting, which is why I was maddeningly frustrated after game 2, maddeningly frustrated after game 3, and honestly, still pretty goddamn frustrated after game 4. Because after game 4, we were sitting there and we were like, at worst, we should be talking about going to game 5 for a closeout game. And there was a world where we should have been talking about sweep. You know, they're not evenly matched. The Knicks were the better team all the way, and they proved as much. Thanks, John. Mr. B. Rich, what's going on, man? I love that it felt like Brunson didn't even play. Look at these MFers print the shirt. You like that one? I thought that was good. I was proud of that one. Look at these motherfuckers. Let's go Knicks. Fuck Boston. Fuck Embiid. Yes, there's going to be a lot of. I mean, I don't know who's going to get fucked more. Phrasing. We'll see. We'll see what happens on Saturday night. Thanks, Mr. B. Rich. Mecky. Jesus Christ. Thank you. Thank you. The generosity this postseason, man. I don't know. I never know what to say when you get super chats like this. I am looking at it right now, and I thank you. They could have. Hawks wanted us. They could have upset the Cavs. Be careful what you wish for. Thank you, though, Hawks, for waking us up. Proud of this team. We are the first NBA team to win 6 games in the first round. All right, got to stay humble. Round 2 is a blank slate. Couple things. Did the Hawks want us? I think the Hawks were they certainly didn't want to avoid us. That's true. They did not want to avoid us. They looked at the Knicks as like, if we play the Knicks, if we play the Cavs, it doesn't matter. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. We feel confident and comfortable playing either team. I wonder how the Hawks feel watching the Cavs barely, like, talk about needing, a Dennis Schroeder spurt and then Evan Mobley to make, what did he make, 3 threes in the second half or a couple in the fourth quarter, whatever it was. I wonder how they feel now. Look, learning experience for them. So whatever. And it's a learning experience in multiple levels. So, try to win your games. Did the Hawks wake us up? I would like to believe not. I would like to believe that this first round series was a process of self-discovery. And I wonder, I will say this. I wonder if that would have happened against an opponent that was not Atlanta. And here's why. If they had played the Toronto Raptors in the first round, I do not think the Knicks would have needed to go through Karl-Anthony Towns and shift the offense as drastically as they shifted it against a Toronto team that would have just stuck Scotty Barnes on Karl-Anthony Towns, and they would have been comfortable letting Jalen Brunson do what Jalen Brunson does, and OG Anunoby would have gotten his, and it would have, I think that series, Knicks versus Raptors, I think the Knicks would have won it in 5, maybe 6 games, probably 5. But I think it would have looked a lot like the basketball that we're used to seeing from the Knicks. I do not think they would have needed to lean into the basketball that they leaned into tonight and throughout this entire series. So from that perspective, yes, absolutely, you could say the Hawks woke us up. But again, the Knicks needed to wake themselves up and get to this point where it's like, okay, this is the way. This is the way. I think we're all proud of this team, and then mostly, blank slate, 100%. If the Knicks lose in the next round, none of us are going to give a flying you-know-what about how many points they won this game by, or how many points they won the last 3 games by, or how overmatched they made the Hawks look, or any of that. If they lose in the next round, none of that is going to matter. Case in point. I'm a diehard Knick fan, and I lived, from 1994 on, live and die with them, obviously playoffs. Can I sit here and recall like which year they beat the Hornets in the first round, and which year they beat the Cavs in the first round, and which year they beat the only one that I will always remember are like the Heat first rounds, right? Like I remember the Heat first round 1998, Heat first round 1999. I'll always remember Nets first round in 1999. But guess what? The 99 and 94, what did I say? 99, 94 was the Nets. Like those are years where they made the finals. So you remember those journeys, you know, like sitting here right now. Do I remember offhand which team they beat in the first round in 1995 or 1996? I'll be honest. I don't, you know, it was like one of those lesser teams. I don't because, I think they probably swept both of them or won them convincingly at the very least. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you do from here on in. This was a necessary step to get past. You learned about a lot about yourself along the way. You made improvements along the way. You got better over the course of this series. You're more ready to play your next opponent. All those things are true. Now go out and keep winning. That's what it comes down to, man. And you nailed it. 100%, Mackie. Thank you so much again for the generosity. Nikki Double G. What's going on, Nikki? Ha 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 ha. You know what? There were some Hawks fans in here on after game 2 and game 3 who were laughing it up. Where are they right now? Probably drowning their sorrows in Magic City or somewhere. Thanks, Nikki Double G. Appreciate you. Anthony Sixto, what's going on, Anthony? Most relaxing Knicks playoff game of all time. It feels like a million years ago, but Knicks opening offensive sets were beautiful. Hashtag 4 down, 12 to go. I thought the first couple sets, the first like 3-4 sets stick out to me as like really good. Then they had a couple like 2 or 3 not sloppy offensive possessions, but offensive possessions that were like, eh. And then like, but literally the first play of the game, I forget. I think it resulted in was it an OG3? I think the first play of the game was an OG3. And it was just like the first couple looks, 2-3 looks that they got right out of the gate were just absolutely beautiful. And it's a credit to them that, you know, they know Atlanta knows what they're going to try to do, and they were still able to do it. I mean, doesn't get much better than that. That's dominance. That's dominance at the highest level. When everybody knows what everybody's doing and nobody could stop it. Thanks, Anthony. Jason, another OG. What's going on, man? Well, watching this game, I remembered how bad the Knicks were when I began following Knicks Film School, post games on Periscope. We deserve this. Let's go, Knicks. Look, the first Periscope started at the end of the 2017-2018 season. You know, that team won. I think they won like 3 games after the All-Star break or 4 games after the All-Star break, whatever the hell it was. You know, I remember those post-game Periscopes. And then kept doing the Periscopes for 2018-19 season, the whole year. And then I think was I doing Periscopes for like 2.5 years? I think I was, because we did not move to YouTube, doing the post games on YouTube until the We Here season, and we didn't even start doing them on YouTube right at the start of the We Here season. I started that year. I started doing the post games still on the Periscopes, and then we were like, we have this YouTube channel. Let's, you know, might as well use it. And now, here we are. Hey, by the way, if you're watching, go subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not subscribed, and like the video, because that's what helps us out. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you being an OG. Tony, what's going on, man? Bring us Boston or Philly. Don't care who. Hashtag 12 more. Man, I want to know who we're playing in the next round. I'm a little bit like you. I'm not sure how much I really care at this point because I believe if they keep playing like they're playing, they're going to beat whoever. I think like honestly, it's crazy to me that they're not favored to get out of the East right now. I think they should be. Thanks, Tony. Another one from Tony. OG trade might go down as the greatest in Knicks history. The greatest Knicks trade, or the greatest trade in Knicks history, is the trade for Dave the Busher, Walt Bellamy, and that wasn't. I always forget who it was. Oh my God, I'm gonna try to remember this. I could look it up, but I'm gonna try to remember this. It was like a pesky guard, and I always forget his name. Fuck. I'm going to have to look this up. God damn it. And I'm going to see the name and I'm going to be like, you idiot. And he's a good player too. Or he was an important player on the Knicks. Howard Komives. God damn it. I would have gotten that. That's the greatest trade in Knicks history. If the Knicks win a championship, does it go above that trade? Probably not, only because Dave the Busher is one of the 75 greatest players ever. So I think the ceiling for the OG trade is the second greatest trade in Knicks history. Mark is saying throwing the Hart trade out. I think that's going to be the conversation. It's going to be the OG trade versus the Hart trade. I mean, they did trade for Bernard King, unless I'm mistaken. Pretty sure they traded for Bernard King. So that's a good one. I think it has a chance to be the second greatest trade in Knicks history. I would, man, the Hart trade really kind of legitimized them in a way. Yeah, Mark, I know they gave up less for Hart, and Hart Hart solidified their identity in a way. But OG made them a contender. You know, OG made them a contender, and I understand they gave up more for OG, but I mean, look, we'll find out. I would put the OG trade ahead of the Hart trade myself, behind the Busher. Thanks, Tony. The Big Freeze. Bontemps somewhere crying about cat's touches. I'm. Mama said if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. So let's move on. Ja, so focused. This game was over 2 hours ago. Why so late, John? Listen, we were having a great time on the watch along. Why end something that was a lot of fun? Thanks, Ja. Brian Acevedo, Mike Brown on the floor 28 years after Van Gundy. I didn't even see him on the floor. I watched all the replays of the fracas. Maybe I wasn't focusing on the right plays. I got to go back and rewatch the replay. But yeah, no, that's great stuff. And also first round series that happened in, I always forget, was that game 3 or game 4 of that series. But I watched that from I think it was the Pinstripe Club at Yankee Stadium. I went to a Yankee game with my dad that night when that game was being played, and saw that. I think there might have been like a rain delay or something. I don't know, but we were sitting there watching the game. Maybe because I was insisting to my dad, like I would rather watch the Knicks game than the Yankee game. But yeah, thanks, Brian. Greg, film stuff. Thank you very much, Greg. The first half of this game by New York resembled a team that could win it all. I've never seen the Knicks defend like this my entire life. Brunson has figured it out. McCall got going, and OG looks like an all-star. They are locked in. I mean, the last 4 words say it all. They're locked in. They can't be. I don't think a team could be more locked in than they are right now. The defense. So as of right now, Their defensive rating in the playoffs is second. San Antonio's first, 102.2. Knicks second, 103.8. Pistons, then Magic, then Rockets, then Timberwolves. Thunder, surprisingly, seventh. So lower. But yeah, second best defense in the playoffs and best offense, or second best offense in the playoffs behind OKC. Their defense right now is, and look, the defense will be tested in a different way. I think specifically against actually either of those teams. I think it will be tested, but I think it will be tested the most by Boston, only because Boston will we'll see what the matchups are going to be, but Boston will put all shooters out there in addition to their center, and they have the ability to go 5 out. So putting Brunson in actions, it's going to be harder to help off of someone when you put Brunson in those actions, which the Knicks were able to do in this series because the Hawks always had somebody on the floor that the Knicks were able to help off of comfortably. That obviously is going to be different against the Celtics, which is why we always go back to, if the Celtics are hitting shots, they're very tough to beat. If they're not hitting shots, they're easier to beat. So, their defense will be tested more in the next series, but they're working from a great blueprint right now. And, the fact that Cat is continuing to defend as well as he is great. And that everybody else is just playing up to what is expected of them is great. And that all matters. Thanks, Greg. Altered Yeast, who's got next? We'll find out in a couple hours. Or a couple days, excuse me. Not in a couple hours, a couple days. Luyan, what's going on, Luyan? Thank you for the generous contribution. Of course, as a long-suffering Knicks fan, all I could think for 3 quarters was no injuries, no suspensions. Yeah, and the freaking Mitchell Robinson moment, which we didn't really talk about yet. I was very carefully watching those replays, being please don't let me see him throw a punch. He did not throw a punch, so I think we'll be fine. And the injuries, hopefully Hart's back is okay. Mitch also had the ankle thing, but obviously he came back in and was fine. So, I think they're and look, we should say, and I'll pull it up right now. In no particular order, Toronto, Orlando with Franz, Denver with Aaron Gordon, the Lakers with Luka, Houston with KD, Minnesota obviously with Ant and Dante. That's half the playoff teams I think I just rattled off. Health at this time of year matters more than anything, and that often decides series. So for the Knicks to be as healthy as they are right now, that's as important as anything. I see Andrew here. I'm going to put on my headphones. Kevin Danishevsky.
Kevin, you can wait. Hold on a second. I need you to do something for me.
What do we?
So Mitchell Robinson has posted something on Instagram. I'm going to put it in a chat so Mark can watch too. John, when I tell you this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Hold on. I'm going to send it to both of you.
Am I seeing it on my phone or?
You're going to be on your phone, and I need you to put the volume down a little bit. Okay?
You need me to put the volume down a little bit.
He put something on his Instagram story. That is quite possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, I'm on my phone.
Okay.
Do I have to open an app? Oh, no.
No. I texted you the Twitter link.
My wife yelled at me yesterday because she had apparently been sending me many things on Instagram because Instagram has a message thing.
Yes, it does. See, I did know this because I usually go and set the collabs. And I was just like, I'm not going to read your DMs. Those are your DMs. Knowing full well you don't know how to find your DMs. So
she walked me through that yesterday.
Yes. Good. I'm glad. That is, just to let you know, that is a very common, Rosina and I exchange Instagram reels all the time. Hold on. I need you to hold on. Pause it. Pause it.
Hold on. How do I pause it? Okay. Sorry.
So rewind it to the beginning.
Oh,
And
I just got
I'm
this
gonna
on language.
Right. That's what I'm saying. There's a little bit of language there. Okay. I just want to preface everybody, if you can hear it, there's a little bit of language. So NSFW, hide your kids. John hit play on the video. This is what Mitchell Robinson just posted at Dyson Daniels in his Instagram story. Go ahead. He is our favorite class clown, Mitchell Robinson. I hope they give you a lifetime contract. I can never see that man in another uniform. Mitchell Robinson, I love you. That's all I have to say.
Can I send this to my mom? Can I tag my mom in this?
Yes, tag your mom in that. I'll send it to my dad.
I'll tag. No, I'm going to tag my mom on Twitter. How do I
There
do
you
that?
go.
Like,
There
wait, I
you
can
go.
do
Send
this.
it. Send her a DM on Instagram.
Marcia. No, I'm just going to tag her.
There you go. Oh man.
Let's see if she understands
Oh,
what to
no.
even do with this. I'll tag my wife too.
There you go. Okay,
D-
continue with
what's
the
my
post
wife's?
game.
What's my wife's D? Shit, I don't know my wife's Twitter handle. Hold on.
DEE Macri.
DEE?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay. Fantastic. Kevin Danishevsky. Hello, Kev. Good old John. We fucking did it. Fake close series, but at least we got tested and showed the team can still fight through anything. All caps. OG Leap is here. Yeah. Yes. They proved a lot to a lot of people, me included, tonight. And pretty great to see. Pretty great to see. Thanks, Kev. Mr. Fabro, what's going on, Mr. Fabro? Just a little donation for good round 2 vibes. Let's go Knicks. Well, it is much appreciated. All of the donations are appreciated tonight. And just keep the vibes where they are. That's all that needs to happen. They don't need to make any adjustments. I really, part of the reason why I picked Celtics ahead of last year's series was because I didn't like how they played against Detroit. Gotta love how they're playing now. All right, my mom just texted me. Got it. Check Twitter. Let's see if she can figure this out. Mr. McBagels, thank you, KFS, and let's go Knicks. You're welcome. Jessica, what's going on, Jessica? Now that was a likable fucking team. Yes, right here. Right there. Excuse me. First quarter was proof of concept of what and who this team can be, and their ceiling can go above the clouds. Q, everybody hurts for the Hawks. Let's go Knicks. I mean, could there be a more likable team? Honestly, it's what made them so unlikable to me in the middle of the season is exactly what is making them impossible to resist now. Because whereas you felt in the middle of the year, I felt in the middle of the year that they were completely disrespecting the opportunity that they had in front of them. Now they're all pulling each other up collectively. And I think that's the biggest, if there's one word that I'm going to use to describe how this team is playing and what makes this team so exciting right now, it is that word collective. You know, they're doing it together. They're doing it for one another. They are amplifying one another. They are making each other better. Karl-Anthony Towns is making OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson better. OG Anunoby is making everybody around him better on both ends of the court. You know, there is a selflessness baked into that. There is an appreciation of the moment. There is a appreciation of what it takes to you know, win at this time of year at the highest levels. So there is nothing more likable than that. That the teams that lean into the tough stuff that it takes to win and band, and come together at the right times. To say nothing of the fact that they're just A, awesome to watch, and B, they're playing really fucking hard. It's a great combo. Thanks, Jess. Appreciate you as always. Zim, what's going on, Zim? OG playing like this makes this team dangerous, man. I mean, so there are only two teams with Aaron Gordon being as compromised as he is, and Aaron Gordon is obviously not playing tonight. We got a Jokic fight in the Timberwolves game. With Aaron Gordon being as compromised as he is, I'm looking up and down like other teams. OG is the best number 3 in the East. He's better than Derek White, just full stop. Whoever you consider the Cavs number 3 to be, he's better than that guy. He's better than Paul George right now. And Paul George is playing great, to be clear. But he's better than Paul George right now. Like it changes everything. Changes everything. Thanks, Zim. Hush, what's going on, Hush? Crash outs are absolutely worth every penny if this is the product we're going to get. Well, I'd love to think, Hush, that the crash outs for me and you and everybody else over the course of the year are what got us this. Sadly, I don't think we could take any credit. Incredible job by everyone, coaches and all. 1 down, 3 more to go. Amen to that. Thanks, Hush. Hush with another one. There's a real argument to be made that OG is, as of right now, is the best player in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Peak two-way play from him. Look, I think it's a Brunson Cat conversation. And I think if you want to say that OG is in the top 10, I think that that's fair. He is still a dependent player in terms of offense. Defense, he's might be the best defensive player in the East. I don't think that's crazy at all, considering Wemby, Chet, and Gobert all play in the Western Conference. You want to say he's the best defensive player in the East? That's fine. You want to tell me if we truly value defense as much as offense, he should be in the conversation. That's fine. But he is still, the Knicks are tapping into his strengths. Best player in the East. I can't go that far, but he's definitely in the conversation, top 5, top 10 for sure. I mean, if he shoots like this, then yes, he's like top 5, for sure. And then another one from Hush. They should have Atlanta should have took the Cavs matchup, you think? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. But series would have been interesting. Justin Richards, what's going on, Justin? Y'all remember when Atlanta was leading this game? Yes, I do. I'm old enough to remember when Atlanta was leading this game. I'm going to enjoy the Knicks hate tomorrow, Knicks to the finals. I'll be curious what the conversation is tomorrow. I'll be curious how much people focus on the Hawks being young and not ready yet. I'll be curious how much people take this game and really the last 3 games as like, all right, the Knicks woke up, they did what they're supposed to do, now the real challenge begins. Or if there is actually any kind of a material shift in how people start discussing this team based on the odds of who's going to win the East. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a shift, but we'll see. I'm happy to be pleasantly surprised. Thanks, Justin. Next one is special. Okay. Asha Henman. I remember you. Your dad. Where were they playing possum this whole season? What a tremendous win. Hashtag let's go Knicks. Hashtag do it for Gary. Hashtag rest in peace, Dad. Oh, gosh. Yes, this does put it in proper perspective. Shout out to you and shout out to you for coming back and still being a part of the show. Yes, we do. stuff like this goes beyond sports, but it's cool that stuff like this can also, remind us that sports ties us together in a very special and specific way. Were they playing possum the whole season? I'm going to lean on my friend Benji Rholz and say no, because I think what he said about Cat and Cat having to improve and Cat having to get better at the things that he needed to get better at, I think that goes for the whole team. I think Jalen Brunson needed to adjust to being more of the player that we saw over the second half of this series. I think OG solidifying himself as the number 3 option and kind of putting, the whole role, like the role question. There were role question marks hanging over this team's head for 2 years or almost 2 years. And then I think kind of OG coming in and grabbing that number 3, role, like guy role by the what. I think that really helped that. It helped him. I think it helped them in a lot of ways. I don't know if it helped Mikal, but which is why Mikal getting going in this game was so important. So no, I don't think they were playing possible season. I think this was a legitimate process, and I think they needed to go through it to get to where we are right now. Thanks, Asha. Thank you so much, and shout out to your dad. Black Dog, what's going on, Black Dog? I must say I'm shocked with their level of play. You should have seen my face half a dozen times throughout this game. I was stunned. I didn't know what I was watching. I still don't quite know what I watched. That was insane. Thanks, Black Dog. I love Riyadh's. Riyadh, forever be known as the Magic City Massacre. Can I steal that for tomorrow's newsletter? I'm writing it down right now. I'll give you credit if I steal it. Magic City Massacre. That's good. That's very good. I like that. Well done. Someone should put that on something. Manuel. Hello, Manuel. Who doubted this team? I did. I'm reading Manuel's super chat, him saying I did, but I will also say, in addition to that, I did. Me, Jonathan Macri. Who wanted to trade everybody? Me. Again, ditto. You and me both. Who should never give an opinion about basketball ever again? Yep, that's me. Well, there I can't join you, Manuel, because this pays the bills for me now, so I do have to keep giving my opinion about this basketball team. Hopefully nobody minds. Look, I don't think those of us who doubted this team and wanted them to make certain changes, I don't think we were all nuts. I don't think we were bad fans. I don't think that we were overreacting. Well, might have been overreacting a little bit. I think, let me say this. We get on the national media a lot for not paying proper respect to the Knicks and for doubting the Knicks and for, as Jeff said, Knicks for Clicks industrial complex, the whole thing. Well, I think that there is some truth to that. I also think that there are enough people out there who do pay close enough attention to the team and the league at large and who watch this team, and there was something about how they went about their business and their level of play, or the level of play they failed to consistently get to, that said, look, there's a reason why I don't have them as an inner circle title contender. And I think those of us who were frustrated by this team and maybe did crash out every now and then did so in reaction to them very much not looking like a contender in the way that your inner circle contenders looked. Your OKCs this year, your San Antonios this year. Even you want to throw Detroit in there in terms of the way they took care of business in the regular season. Now, those same folks, myself included, did they only see the good with Boston and not pay attention to the fact that Boston did not have a good record this year against the elite teams in the league? Did they not pay attention to the fact that Detroit was always going to come upon this very fundamental roster issue in terms of the lack of shooting? Did they not pay attention to the fact that the fucking Spurs got smoked by the Knicks twice? And, you know, when they played like the Nuggets and a couple other teams did have answers for what they did. Yes. The reality is there's one team that should be in a different conversation with everybody else, and that's the Thunder. And every other team, Nuggets especially, and that was probably the biggest sign of disrespect, where people would put the Nuggets in like this higher class. Now you can tell me Aaron Gordon got hurt and that influenced things, whatever. Like the Nuggets finished the year with like the 21st ranked defense in the league. So like the reality is that after the Thunder, Knicks, Celtics, Nuggets, Spurs, because of their youth, Pistons, certainly, like all these teams need to be in the same bucket. And you want to like, you know, move teams up and down the bucket, that's fine. But I think I wanted the Knicks to be considered part of that like higher plane, and they weren't. But again, what does that mean? What does that mean? They're in a group of teams 2 through 7. There's no shame in that. It just, we watch them every day and we, you know, we live and die with them, and like the lows seem so low to us, and we're like, no, other teams are not having these lows. And like, in fairness, I think some other teams were not really having lows, because some of the lows were just very low, but those were also like kind of isolated when you think about it. You know, there was the 1-2-9 stretch, there was the Pistons game, there was the Rockets game late, you know, 1-2 others throughout the year. Overall, there was a lot more good than bad. And the last thing I'll say, I'm spending a lot of time on this, I'll move on. The good was really good. You know, the good was really good, and the good was really impressive. It just wasn't consistent. That was the thing. It wasn't consistent. And I think we wanted consistency. And then when the bad was so bad, it was like we were so far away from the level of consistency that we thought they needed to play to be in that upper echelon. And I think what they've, and again, to the last comment about were they playing possum, they weren't playing possum. They needed to go through all that, and they needed to improve, and they needed to get to a place where they could do now what they're doing and have it look like it has. So I don't, Manuel, you know, I don't think anybody should feel ashamed of reacting to just what we saw throughout the year. Aside from all that, you know, we're only human. So thanks, man. Oh, yes. Good job, Mark. Pundertaker. Hawks dropped this game faster than you dropped your Twitter account to the crypto game. Macri. Yeesh. Yes, they did. They let go of the rope. All right, let's do stat of the game. Jonah Kaufman, our intern extraordinaire, been delivering these all season long and does a great job with them. Stat of the game, 51-point margin of victory. Okay. Largest margin of victory in Knicks playoff history. Previous high, 38. It's Game 6, Boston last year. Knicks' second largest margin of victory of all time, behind only the Brooklyn blowout earlier this year. Speaking of high highs. The 8th 50-point playoff win in league history. They scored 140 points, the most in franchise playoff history, led by 47 at the half, beating the previous league-wide playoff record of plus 41, and led by 61 at one point in time in this game, the largest playoff lead of the play-by-play era. Those are some stats of the game. Shout out to you, Jonah, man. Those were great. Awesome stuff, dude. Really good stuff. Michael Aaron, what's going on, Michael? Hope you're enjoying a good glass of bourbon tonight. Said everything I needed to say in the watch along, just checking in. Well, Very much appreciated. And thanks to everybody who joined us on the watch along, contributed to the watch along. That was a special, very fun experience on a lot of levels. Thanks, Mike. Nikki Double G, another one who was with us on the watch along. Shout out to you. Finally done laughing, pulling for a Sixers rematch as a New Yorker living in Philly. This town can't handle losing, and it's funny every time. All the Sixers fans are going to talk themselves into all sorts of things going into Saturday. Nothing would surprise me on Saturday. You could tell me Boston blows out the Sixers. You could tell me Celtics win a close game. You could tell me Philly wins a close game. I think a Philly blowout in Boston would surprise me. That's about it. Nothing else would surprise me. Thanks, Nikki Double G. Joseph Zicola, thanks for the generous contribution, man. Everyone playing connected. Cat the hub again. JB Cooking, OG, a legit 2A scorer to reckon with. And McCall back with a vengeance, going to the hole and hitting threes. The killer instinct was off the charts. Wow. Let's fucking go Knicks. So, again, I know it's been probably said in different ways and elsewhere on the internet and whatnot. Mikal Bridges tonight had, 24 points? 24 points. In the previous 5 games of this series, combined, Mikal Bridges scored 36. And if you want to take out game 1 when he played pretty well, that number goes down to 25. So games 2 through 5, Mikal Bridges, 25 points. Tonight, 24 points. He looked like a different guy, like a fundamentally different player. Especially the way he was flinging it from above the break, from deep. Like, outstanding stuff. Thanks, Joseph. Miguel Bustos, what's going on, Miguel? Enjoy the weekend, Knicks Nation. The new norm. This is the new norm. Crazy to say it, but it is. And I am going to enjoy the hell out of this weekend. My goodness. I mean, going to be a lot of content, putting out a lot of stuff, but I'm going to really enjoy the basketball games tomorrow night. Really enjoy whatever basketball games we get to watch on Saturday. It looks like Minnesota. Oh, no. As I say that, Cam Johnson hits a 3. It's a hell of a game right now between Minnesota and Denver. Thanks, Miguel. Frank Miranda, what's going on? Frank! What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. I'm going to get you one of those loudspeakers, buddy. Me and you both. Say it loud and say it proud. Belt to arse. Legit question. Who would you rather play next round? Because Boston is looking like a Lunchable right now. Let's go Knicks. I'd still rather play Philly. It's close. Especially if Philly goes into Boston in Game 7 and wins the game. Like, Tyrese Maxey is a dude. You know, the Embiid cat thing scares me a little bit. Paul George playing out of his mind. I don't want to diminish. I don't want to diminish Philly. I don't want to, none of that. What did Paul George? Paul George, 23 points, 8 of 17 in this game. He's playing great defense. Edgecombe busted through that rookie wall. The thing is, like, they just don't really have the depth. Like, Grimes is like really their only one trustworthy guy off the bench. Barlow he's not even playing anymore, which is crazy. I just think they're a little too thin. Is Embiid going to hold up? I would rather take my chances against Philly. That's me. I'm sure reasonable minds will disagree. Thanks, Frank. Paul, this has to be the biggest point differential in a 6-game series. No, that's exactly what I was asking most of the game. I was wondering what the biggest point differential is in a 6-game series, because I don't know that we've ever seen a more dominant 6-game series win. The series that I compared this series to the other night, and then I will compare this series to, again, now, even though the series I'm about to reference went 7 games, and this series obviously only went 6 games, is the 2008 first-round series between the Boston Celtics and these Atlanta Hawks. In that first-round series, so I could actually probably just do a little bit of very quick math right now. Also, you say, thanks, as always, to the KFS for the great content. Let's fucking go Knicks. So in that series, going to do some very quick calculations right here. Okay. Boston won game 1 by 23. They won game 2 by 19. They lost game 3 by 9. They lost game 4 by 5. They won game 5 by 25. They lost game 6 by 3. And then they won game 7 by 34. So in a 7-game series, that was a total margin of 84 points. This series, if I can get to it real quick. We have game 1. Sorry. We have game 1 win by 11, -1, plus 16, plus 29, plus 51. I mean, the 51 is just doing so. It's a margin of 100 and could that be right? Margin of 105? It's got to be. Has to be the largest margin. Has to be. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to figure it out, but I mean, that 51. 51's a lot of fucking points. Thanks, Paul. Oh, and thank you for the kind words, Paul. Appreciate you. Kings of Leon Rose, have to hand it to Mikal Bridges, or I don't know, MB. Is it Mike Brown or Mikal Bridges? Amazing to be peaking at this time. Everything is fitting together. Amazing job. I think he means Mike Brown. Yes, credit to Mike Brown, credit to Mikal Bridges, credit to both of them. Great coaching job. Seriously, I killed him after game 2 and game 3. He's done a great job. Had says, pick preference now, Sixers or Celtics. I don't want to deal with VJ and Maxey, to be honest. I get that. They made us look pretty bad at times this year. We also made them look very bad. Granted, it was a game without Embiid. Now, they did win the one game with Embiid, and they should have won that going away, and it was closer than it should have been, and whatever. I'm still gonna say I'd rather face the Sixers. It's close. To be clear, it's close. I'm gonna say the Sixers. Okay. Tom Davidson, thank you for the very generous contribution, Tom. What a win. 10 months ago, I had open heart surgery, and KFS content got me through the downtime. You and Benji both replied to my DMs. It meant the world. Thank you, boys. Your work is appreciated. The job's not done. Let's go Knicks. Well, that's incredible to hear. Man, when you hear this stuff, we're incredibly lucky to be able to do what we do. And I just, the fact that I get to be part of something that is a part of people's lives in a meaningful way, #meaningful. It's all, I've said this before, I'll say it again. It's all I ever wanted out of my professional life. So to be a part of this team is just, I'm just really fortunate. And we're all really fortunate to get to do what we get to do. And yeah, DM me anytime. I don't get back to my DMs quite as frequently as I once did. That's my bad. Trying to trying to balance the professional with the personal, and just spend more time with the kids, and my wife, who is still the most patient human being in the world. But anyway, you're very welcome, and you're right. The job's not done, so let's keep it going. Thanks, Tom. Oscar, who made the long trip from around the world to the Knicks, to Madison Square Garden earlier at the end of the year, witnessed some pretty good wins, if I recall correctly. A 51-point victory in a closeout game on their home court is really something else. Glad McCall got his confidence back. OG and Cat, my star of the series. Let's go Knicks. I wonder if for tomorrow's newsletter, I will probably do stars of the series for tomorrow's newsletter. I don't even know how you do stars of the game tonight, because like everybody was a star of the game. I will probably do stars of the series, and it's going to be tough. I think there's a legitimate conversation between Cat and OG. I feel like OG's would get most of the love. I'm leaning Cat to be my 3-star guy. I don't think either is a wrong answer. But I think it's tough between those two. And then the third spot, I don't know that Mitch has a real argument, because he just didn't play enough minutes. I think there's a real. I'm very strongly leaning Hart but then again, Brunson's growth over the last 3 games, and like obviously what he did in Game 5 was unreal. And he was great tonight. Everybody's great tonight, but he was great tonight. He was part of the winning effort. I don't know. I'm leaning Hart, but I'll see. I'm gonna think about that some more. I gotta look at the numbers a little bit more, because Hart really also did not shoot it in this series, but meaning like he didn't make shots. He shot it when he was open, but he didn't make shots. But I don't know. Thanks, Oscar. Sam Garcia, thank you, man. Very generous. I'm just speechless after that brilliant performance. Got to give credit to Mike Brown. I thought he was out of his depth after Game 3, but he made adjustments, and they never looked back. Job's not finished. Totally agree with you. I was right there with you. I was out on Brown after 3 games of this series. Out. Capital O, capital U, capital T, out. And I'm all the way back in. Thanks, Sam. Mark Sable, my guy on the left coast, can't think of a bigger positive emotional turnaround as a Knicks fan than this past week. Went from thinking Leon was out to thinking we're legit finals contenders. Proud of this team. I don't know that I will go back and listen to the various things that I recorded in front of a microphone after Game 3. I don't know that I have the stomach for it. Mark, I think you might have something there. A bigger emotional turnaround in the span of a week. Well, not to bring up old, I forget wounds, old, not to unearth dead corpses, but Game 6 Boston to Game 1 and Game 2, frankly, Indiana. That takes the cake, but the fact that this is within the same series, it's right there. It's right there. Different kind of emotional roller coaster, right? Though, because that was just about the results. This is about we were asking existential questions about the franchise, a week ago. So, yeah, in a positive direction. Yeah, positive emotional turnaround. Yes, this takes the cake for sure. Jordan Miller, kudos to coach for making the right changes after Game 3. Do you see them continuing to run the offense through Cat, or was it this more exclusive to Atlanta? I think to this extent it was more exclusive to Atlanta. I do think they've obviously tapped into something and they will do it more. I think it was the fact that it was the best way to get Brunson going. Now, I think it's still going to be the best way to get Brunson going. Will OG have the matchup advantage in the next round that he did in this round? The thing is, Atlanta was just never willing to switch, and they also were never willing to like guard Hart with the center and play off of him because they didn't really have that personnel. So I think we'll see some of it. I don't think it's going to be to the same extent, though. Thanks, Jordan. Frank Miranda with another one. What's up, Mac? It's your boy Frank from Patreon. Do you remember when Atlanta tanked the last game of the season to avoid Cleveland and play us? Laugh my ass off. Good times. They were totally cool with this. They were totally cool with this matchup. And now they get to eat it. And I'm sure it doesn't taste very good. Thanks, Frank. Looking forward to, I don't know when we're doing a town hall. We have to do a town hall at some point soon. Stay tuned. Stevens Guillaume, what's going on, Stevens? Knicks 50-point beatdown, Sixers forcing a game 7 might be the best day ever. I mean, Benji was calling it in the moment. Like, was there a better Knicks day? Can we remember a better Knicks day? It's up there. This is up there. This is pretty high on the list. Thanks, Stevens. Freeway Hustler, Knicks to Hawks. You are not serious people. Let's fucking go, Knicks. No, they were not. Not tonight they weren't, at least. They were not. Mango Man. Oh, it's been a while. What's going on? How you doing? Like a kid who finally takes first steps after shedding the fear of success. These men aren't scared to commit to what works anymore. They're done blocking blessings. Fucking beautiful. Love KFS. Thank you. Oh, man, that's very generous. Thank you, dude. That's a great comment. Yeah, they are not getting. They're getting out of their own way. It's about damn time. It's about damn time. Thanks, Mango Man. Hey, Shin, my guy. Tonight is why we were so upset at games 2 and 3. Solid. Let's go, Knicks. Yeah, look, we get the rest. We get the 3 days of rest. No one got hurt. It's all good. Totally fine. Holy shit, Minnesota might pull this out. This is wild. It's all good. No harm, no foul. I said this after game 4. I said it after game 5. It's only if you win the series in 6 if it's no harm, no foul. That's the only way. Thanks, Asian. Whoa, another big one. Charles Perkins, thank you, man, very much. Thank you. Came out of our tune-up series looking finally tuned, yeah? Really appreciate all the time and effort KFS puts in every year. Ease the pain and multiply the joy. Additive to every aspect of our fandom. Man, shit. I do try. I know it seems like I don't try sometimes. I know it seems like I let go of the rope sometimes. I know it seems like I just say shit to chase shit sometimes. I promise that's never it. I just my intention when we started this with this project was 1, to always be honest, and 2, to be in depth and really think about this team through a lens of someone who cares a lot and also is willing to, do the homework. And I think that has led me to probably overthinking it at times over the years, to my detriment, to our detriment. But it from day one, it always comes from a genuine place. And this series reminded me of that, because if it wasn't still coming from a genuine place, like I would have been able to brush off games 2 and 3, like no problem. And yet that really, I was in, I don't want to say I was in a bad place, but like that was rough. Like after game 3, especially, that was rough. After game 2 was rough. After game 3 was rough. Because we care. We care a lot. All of us, we care. So it's cool to see that you appreciate everything we do. And again, thank you for the generosity. Appreciate it. Hush with another one. I really don't want to deal with Embiid's antics again. Fair point. Fair point. Who's he going to try to injure next? Fair point. I hate that fucking guy. But I think we'll beat him. So, yeah. Thanks, Hush. This is some commercial for some food. Papa John's sandwiches. I'm so hungry right now. Christopher Halecki, what's going on, Chris? How are you? I am rarely surprised. Offensively and defensively, this was by far one of the best performances I have seen by these Knicks. It's there with anything. It's up there with anything. 100%. Thanks, Chris. Jess M. What's going on, Jess? Wow, that was fun. Thank you, KFS, for being here through the high highs and the low lows. You guys are amazing. Second to none. Let's fucking go, Knicks. We got this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to do this and being along with us for the ride. Again, if everybody out there watching was not part of the Knicks Film School community, I wouldn't be able to do this as my full-time job. And frankly, at the age that I am, I don't think I had many more years in me of doing double duty with the day job and this. So your support literally, allows Knicks Film School to exist. So thank you. Jerry D, what's going on, Jerry? How are you, man? Thanks for the generosity here. I'm not used to this feeling. The defense the last 3 games has been dominant and certainly championship caliber. Let's go Knicks. Hashtag 12 more. The only question left is there a team out there that they cannot defend? Like just starting at the finish line and then working backwards. I think they could defend Oklahoma City. They defended them twice this year. And once pretty well last year, for what it's worth. We know they could defend San Antonio. We know they could defend Boston. We know they could defend Philly. And then I won't, the other side of the East bracket, those teams have all of those teams, Cleveland, Orlando, Detroit, well, maybe not Toronto, but the other 3 teams have given the Knicks fits at times. I fully believe the Knicks could defend all of those teams as well. So, yeah, it's a championship caliber defense, 100%. Thanks, Jerry. Vass Callow, what's going on, Vass? I wanted to trade Cat for Jeremy Grant and Time Lord. Listen, man, I was looking at trades to Charlotte where we're bringing back who? Grant Williams and Colin Sexton and fucking I don't even know who. The who else on that team? Oh my God, the guy who used to be on the Mavericks. Whose name he's so good I can't remember his goddamn name right now. Really embarrassing stuff on both of our behalfs. Happily, we'll say I can eat crow. Let's go. Most impressive closeout game I've ever seen in my life. Guess we are very likable. Hashtag 12 wins to go. Yeah. I think we got to put likable on a t-shirt. That's a good one. Andrew's here. Andrew's back. Luchasaurus, what's going on? Thanks for joining us on the post game, and congratulations on your successful surgery. I'm high as hell, but I can still do math. I think Luchasaurus is on some pain relievers right now. Knicks total series points 707. Hawks 602. Yes, I did this math before. That's an average game margin of 17, boys. Let's fucking go Knicks. Robert Cross. Robert, you started us off and you're still here, apparently. First time, long time, it's your boy John. The time to win the title, is now. This year, period. Tomorrow is never promised. Anything less than a chip is a disappointment. Hashtag 53 wins. There's been a lot of times this year where I was convinced that we would look back on last year as the one that got away, as the best opportunity to win it. Now, depending on how the rest of the playoffs go, and I say this, yes, I'm already getting way ahead of myself and I'm already looking towards the Western Conference. There is still a part of me that wonders about last year and whether that was their best chance. I think this team is better than last year's team. I think their ceiling is higher. I think they're more well-equipped to win 4 playoff rounds. They're certainly playing better. Playing a lot better than that team was last year. But, like, absolutely, if it wasn't last year, it's this year. And, like, you know, yeah, nothing's ever promised. Like, our guys are all in their primes. Get it done. Just get it done. EO, peace. And shout out to Mark who departed. Thank you, Mark. You're the best. Most incredible half of basketball I've seen. 2K stuff. Thanks, KFS, for the great coverage. Can the Knicks keep it up for 12 more? They'll win it all if they do. Well, listen, if they play like tonight, 4 times the series from here on in, then we're done. Yes. Agree. Thanks, EO. Joseph Sokola, what's going on, Joseph? Quiz Show is an amazing movie and one of my all-time favorites. Great OG reference. Total cheat code tonight. I haven't seen it in a while. I don't know what it's streaming on, if it's streaming on one of the services. Have not seen it in a while, but yeah, I remember it was Oscar nominated. That was back when there were only 5 nominees. Good. You know, that movie is a very, very much a they don't make them like they used to anymore. Good film. Thanks, Joseph. Oh, another one. Aunt Rich. I know you've been around for a long time, following us and being a big contributor to what we do. Thank you so much, dude. Do you think the Hawks now regret losing on purpose to avoid Cleveland in the playoffs? Be careful what you wish for. Let me say something about the Hawks. And I very much thank you for the contribution and the generosity and always, again, being here and being a part of what we do here. I think for the Hawks, I think the Hawks have a bright future. I think the Hawks, this was a good learning experience, I think, for their players and for their organization. I don't think the Hawks are going to lose sleep over the fact that they essentially not tanked into a Knicks matchup, but like didn't make it a priority to make sure they were playing the Cavs instead of the Knicks. I think organizationally, I'm sure that they know that this was not their year. I think they have a really, really, really interesting summer coming up, mostly because of the fact that CJ McCollum, who was like pretty unquestionably their most important offensive player in this series, is an expiring contract. And, he's not, I joked about it before. He's not going to sign for like the minimum or the mid-level. Like he's going to want to get paid. He's still a really good player. He fucking was dominant for almost, 2.5 games of the series. So he's an expiring contract. They could pay him if they want, but he's an expiring contract. They got Kuminga with a team option for $24 million. That's an interesting decision. But like their cap sheet, is super clean. Like the Johnson contract is a bargain. The Daniels contract, not looking so great right now, but like $25 million for like one of the best defensive players in the year in the league. And like you can, but that's an interesting question, right? Like, are they all in on Daniels? Nickeil Alexander-Walker, one of the best contracts in the league. Onyeka Okongwu, awesome contract. The Riche thing is like kind of hanging over their heads. That's unfortunate. They have the Pelicans pick coming up. Where is that pick going to land? That's going to be probably the biggest determining factor out of everything in terms of how they operate this summer. How aggressive are they? Like, depending on where that pick lands and what they do with some contracts, and they have some flexibility in terms of making a trade. Like, do they get in the Giannis sweepstakes? Like, there's a lot of things that they could do. And I think they will benefit. They learned a lot about their team. You know, they gained valuable evidence about their team. They learned a lot about their team in this series. I think despite what happened tonight, I do think they represented themselves, you know, well, for the most part. Like, you know, they made the Knicks sweat, and they won 2 games, and they made the Knicks sweat in 2 more. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks, Ant. And then I will just pause for a brief moment to congratulate Julius Randle and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Talk about the new normal for the Minnesota Timberwolves for advancing to the second round of the playoffs yet again, defeating the Denver Nuggets. This game really wasn't close. And the fact that they did it with no Anthony Edwards, no Dante DiVincenzo, no Ayo Dosunmu, and it was just Jaden McDaniels doing his thing and Rudy Gobert doing his thing. And who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting probably Julius Randle doing his thing. 18 points, 5 assists tonight. I mean, but this was a McDaniels game, big time McDaniels game. Terrence Shannon Jr., holy shit, 24 points on 20 shots. Like, that's a big time organizational win for the Timberwolves. And like, man, I don't know when Ant's getting back. I don't know when Desumu's getting back. They got the Spurs the next round. This is the talk about the, you know, Knicks not playing like a team not to be fucked with. Timberwolves are playing like a team that is not to be fucked with right now. This was an impressive win tonight. Really impressive win. Scary team. If they could get Ant back on the court, that's a scary team. Okay. Let's finish up here. Ant Rich with another one. Where is the person who was on the chat for the preview of the series who commented, "Y'all are so funny. Knicks can't beat the Hawks"? Where did he go? I don't see him tonight. He's somewhere crying in his Slurpee. Thanks, Ant. Danishevsky with another one. This win is for the entire We Here team. Yes, even those who play with other teams. That team brought fire back to the city. Glad to avenge your loss. Yeah, we did a shout out to the We Here team, I think, at the end of the watch along. That was a special team. It laid the foundation for this. I understand only Mitchell Robinson is still here. It doesn't matter. That reset the organization. And, you know, Jalen Brunson obviously gave them a different, he leveled us up. But, you know, is how enthusiastic is Jalen Brunson about coming here? If the We Here team didn't lay the foundation, and if the year that came after the We Here team didn't seem like a blip on the radar, where Jalen Brunson could look at it and be like, okay, they just need a point guard, you know? So shout out forever and ever to the We Here team. 2J Heller. Oh, John Heller from the newsletter. What's going on? Thank you very much for the very generous contribution. This is really, really nice of you. Thank you so much. Nothing like these types of wins. We're lucky. You know, I stayed a bit more positive on this bunch throughout the year. Never imagined this. Let's win it all. Thanks for everything, and let's go Knicks. So, John, if I recall correctly from your comments, and I always appreciate your comments to the newsletter, in part because you do have more positivity than a lot of folks, but also because they're always just very thoughtful. If I recall correctly, you're one of the old heads, someone who's been watching this team for a very long time. I think you go back to the championship years. If I'm aging you incorrectly, I very much apologize for that. But I feel like you do. Which probably gives you some much needed perspective and something that I should aspire to. In any case, you were smart to stay more positive. it's not even that 82 games is a long time, which it is. New coach, very, it's not just that it was a new coach. It was a coach that was very clearly not afraid to come in and take risks. History shows us that coaches who take over for Tom Thibodeau oftentimes have a rough go of things because it is, I think, very difficult to go from that, which is very much a that, to literally anything else. And I think that you could attribute a lot of the diciness this year to that shift, to that change. And yet, Mike Brown did not relent. He did not back off of the things that he felt were essential to this team reaching their ceiling. And yet, he also made adjustments, liberally made adjustments, took input from everybody, was not afraid to say when he screwed up or was like, yeah, you know what? I wasn't right about that. I'm still learning, so on and so forth. Was it always pretty? Was everybody always on the same page? Did things maybe get a little bit dicier behind the scenes than we probably even realize? Whatever. Yeah, sure. But I think those of us who were more down than you were, we didn't allot them enough grace. And it's funny. I always say development's not linear. And that phrase manifests itself in ways that we do not expect, because if you could look at it and be like, well, yeah, they might get worse before they get better and yada yada yada, then you're actually seeing linear development. If you're able to like easily justify it, then even if it's up and down, you could still kind of no. When we say development isn't linear, I think what we're really getting at is like it is going to look and feel gnarly sometimes. And I think that was the process of this year. And they came out of it all right. They came out of it on the other side. Look, maybe I'm going to be sitting there against Boston and or Philly, and we'll all be sitting there and being like, well, they duped us again. The bad Knicks showed up one more time. I don't know, man. I think they're past it. Maybe famous last words. I think they're past it. I think we're going to see the best that this team has to offer moving forward. And I think they are going to be one hell of an out in the East. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. I've not poured myself a refill yet. Been really pacing myself. Good job by me. Benji, my guy. What's going on, Benji? Benji Kleiner. I've been on the front lines defending Cat all season, so this is extra rewarding. Cat is now a rim protector and passes like Magic Johnson. Good job by you, Benji. Definitely a series where all of the people who have been defending Cat absolutely should take their victory lap. Around, and through folks like me who doubted him, because he made all of us shut up. So good job by you. Hush with another one. 3 50-point wins now. Nets, Sixers, and now Hawks. Wow. Yeah. Pretty cool. When this team hits a high, man, it's really high. It is really, really high. Chris Guam. First time, long time. Thanks, man. Had to share a fun stat I just found. Which 20-point per game player in this playoffs has the best true shooting percentage and best 3-point percentage? I'm going to go ahead and guess that it is OG Anunoby. If I'm wrong, I would be very, very, very surprised. Although I actually know RJ Barrett was having a nice series for himself as well. Though I don't think his shooting fell off just enough. But RJ has had a good playoffs. But no, I think the answer to that is OG Anunoby. Adam Austin, what's going on, Adam? How are you? Least stressed I've ever been during a playoff game. I watched every minute because I knew we were watching history on the court. When did I stop being stressed out? I think I stopped being stressed out early in the second quarter. Yeah. That seems accurate. Thanks, Adam. Dom Cappuccini, what's going on, Dom? I take back what I said after game 3. Listen, if we're taking back shit that we said, I have a lot of shit to take back. This series is a huge improvement from 6 over Detroit last year. You think? They won the Detroit series by how many total games? Here, I'll look it up right now. They won the Detroit series by, let's see, we got 11 minus 6 is 5. Oh, wait, I did this math the other night, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 5, 6. No, hold on. I just screwed up. Yeah, they won by 6. The total margin of victory, I think, was 6. Hold on, let me just double check this. 11 minus 6, 5. Plus 2, 7. Plus 1, 8. Minus 3, 5. Yeah. No, 8. Sorry, 8 points. 8 total points. Margin of victory. 8 points margin of victory. Last year's first round series, 84 points margin of victory. This first round series. Slightly different. Thanks, Tom. Eric, what's going on, Eric? Thank you for the generous contribution. What did we just witness? OG was perfection, unreal, but the job is not done. That's the key. Let's appreciate what we witnessed, pay homage to it, put it in perspective, realize how lucky we are that we get to watch a team that is capable of doing that and is capable of getting out of the first round consistently year after year after year. After having been through all the shit that we have been through, 100%. Appreciate it. Job is nowhere close to being done. Thanks, Eric. Sam Garcia's dad, what's going on, Ray? This team is built for the playoffs. Let's fucking go. Yes. Amen to that. Appreciate you, Ray. Dom with another one. Thank you, Dom, very much. Mitch healthy, McCall finding his way, Cat with a quiet triple-double, all NBA OG, and Brunson him, and Hart not bad with a bad back. Thank you for the last 3. I am hyped beyond the moon for the next round. Go Knicks. I'm feeling unsettlingly good about where the Knicks are at right now, which is very scary. For me, it's a very scary place to be. I'm sure I will take my usual position as an absolute ball of nerves going into game 1, regardless of who they play in game 1. For right now, I feel really good. For all the reasons you just said. Everybody's playing great. Everybody's healthy. They're playing together. Like, it's everything you could possibly want. You know, but like, at the same time, we know. Well, here's what I'll say. Is it possible game 1 of the next round, they go out there and like whoever they play, again, gets hot from deep and the Knicks see a defensive coverage that takes them a little while to get used to and they're down by 10 in the first quarter. And yeah, it's possible. But that shouldn't discourage us because this team has something very real to lean back on now. They have like a very repeatable formula just in terms of like, okay, we could get hit in the mouth. We could be down. We're going to find answers because we have a lot of different ways to beat teams. And that's a great place to be. Thanks, Tom. Chinese weed. What's going on, man? Magic City Massacre. Yes, we got that from somebody earlier in the post game, but I love it. The Hawks could have put 15 orders of Lou Will lemon pepper barbecue wings on the court, and they'd have put up more fight. Hell, 15 Trae Youngs could have played better defense. MSG South forever. Good comment. Chinese Swede. What did I say? Oh, I said Chinese weed. Meant Chinese Swede. Sorry. Thank you, Andrew. Hey, my guy, Monroe Doctrine. What's going on, brother? I'm lagged a bit, but I'm low-key irate that no one mentioned that we gave up Riordan and Stallworth to get Earl the Pearl. Thanks for all that you do, John. Bad job by me. The Knicks acquired one of the 75 greatest players ever for some pieces that they could afford to lose, and he helped the Knicks win a championship. You're absolutely right. Do I think the OG trade has a chance to exceed the Monroe trade or Earl the Pearl trade? So Earl made a bunch of all-star teams with the Knicks. And he obviously won the championship as a starter for the Knicks. One of the 75 greatest players ever. Is there any universe where we look back at the OG trade as being a quote unquote better trade than that? I'm gonna have to chew on that one for a while. I'm not sure. I feel very embarrassed that I forgot that trade. Just because the DeBusschere trade is always whenever a big trade gets made like the Hart trade that got compared to the DeBusschere trade, the OG trade got compared to the DeBusschere trade, even the Cat trade got compared to the DeBusschere trade. I mean, that's the number 2 right now, right? And it's going to take an uphill battle for any trade to surpass that. Great call, man. Brian Less, what's going on, Brian? Was at a work dinner in the Midwest with the game on behind the table without sound. Easily the most surreal game I've ever seen. The lack of audio only added to the impossibility of what my eyes were seeing. I also watched it without the sound because we were doing a watch along. Only New Yorker, and that is also from Brian. Only New Yorker in the restaurant. My professionalism evaporated into speechless giggles and repeatedly taking photos of the score like I was a tourist on a new planet. Still not sure where not. Let's fucking go Knicks. That must have been a very cool experience. I think we were all at a bit of a loss watching. I was definitely in stunned silence quite a bit. I'm not sure if that added to the watch along or took away from the watch along, but yeah, it sounds like you had a similar experience. It's very cool. It was a very cool night. I think it was a very cool night for longtime Knicks fans. It was a cool night for people who have felt stressed by this year at various times. It was a cool night for people who were very stressed out after game 2 and game 3. And most importantly, it was a great night for the team. And if you're someone that, again, wanted really like a full-on, no doubt about it, proof of concept kind of win to feel good about things moving forward, like you got it. So it was good all around. Thanks, Brian. And then one more, Brian, from Brian. Not trying to be a prisoner of the moment, but did not feel this way even when they beat Boston last year. The last 3 games felt like a collective team epiphany. So the thing with Boston is Boston was the defending champs. And that was a better team than this Hawks team, and it was not close. This Hawks team was overmatched. It was not a good matchup for the Knicks on a few levels. Boston, prideful team, but a team with a fatal flaw that the Knicks exploited. That being said, The Knicks didn't play well for a lot of the series against Boston. I've done the math before. First 3 quarters, didn't play great. First 3 quarters of game 2, didn't play great. All 4 quarters of game 3, played like shit. All 4 quarters of game 5, played like shit. So do the math. That's 14 quarters out of a 24-quarter series. So that's more quarters than not. We just witnessed 24 quarters where I think you could say the Knicks were bad in... I mean, they were bad, like full-on bad in 2 of them. They were bad in the first quarter of game 3, and they were bad in the fourth quarter of game 2. Other than that, I mean, there were some moments in game 2 and game 3 where they weren't great, but like they played well enough for the first 3 quarters of game 2 for sure. And then game 3, after the first quarter, I thought they played well. So we're, again, talking about 2 bad quarters versus, what did I just say, 14? To say nothing of Detroit. I really didn't cover themselves in glory in the first round against Detroit last year. Definitely feels different. Thanks, Brian. Al Diddy, what's going on, man? Wow, J Mac, you still going? Something my wife has never said to me. Let's celebrate a memorable victory. Went to the watch party game 1 before the game and wish you were there. Yeah, well, this time of year, me and Andrew kind of lean into the digital side of things. It's more my comfort zone, if I'm being honest. We'll do another watch party at some point during the second round for sure. Now that we have the second round schedule, especially, I'm sure Sean is already all over that. But yeah, go to the next one, and very cool victory. Ja, is there an Eastern Conference Finals matchup you want more than Toronto? Jesus, if Toronto made the Eastern Conference Finals, my Lord. But that's the tough part, right? It's like if any of these teams make it, then you're like, all right, that means they got out of the first round, and that means they won a second round. That I would want more than Toronto. No. The team that I if I had my druthers, I would probably want to play the least is at this point is probably Cleveland, which sounds silly. I know what Detroit did to us this year. But I don't fear any of those teams. I think I've said it for weeks. If the Knicks get out of the second round, they're going to the finals. I think this is the tough round. Jessica, for the newsletter, Karl, series MVP, all the stars. That's where I'm leaning. Was he the best player in the series? I don't know. I think he was the MVP of the series. I think he was. Thanks, Jess. And another one from Jess. Congrats to Knicks legend. I know you'll love him. Julius Randle and the Timberwolves for eliminating Denver. Great to see him thrive with a short team. Great night for the Knicks past and present. Shout out also, speaking of Knicks past and present, he did not have a good game off the bench in this particular game tonight, but Quentin Grimes helping the Philadelphia 76ers force a Game 7 tonight as well. Okay. Andrew, you want to come up and as we get out of here?
Let's do it.
We're under 3 hours.
We did it, Joe.
We did it.
You and I are on hour 6 though, so it's a little different.
Me and you were on hour 6. I got like a 35-minute nap in earlier today, which I am certainly thankful for. This was fun.
50-point wins are fun, apparently. Even more fun in the playoffs, if you ask me.
Likable, even.
Don't worry, John. Just 2 more months, and then what you've been waiting for will happen. They could blow it up. Can I just, jokes aside, I've always I've never pushed back on when that happened, right? Like I always said to you, because you know this, I'll always check you when I think the analysis is off, right? I've never did that. I literally just made sure you were okay, and you texted me a picture that you did a puzzle, and I was like, he's fine. Okay, cool. The comment that Brian just made about the epiphany, I've kind of been there for about 4 hours, John, and it's not even just that the Knicks won by 51 tonight. I'm watching the Celtics, the big bad Celtics struggle. Like, go look at Celtics Twitter right now. I tapped in.
How about Denver?
I'll get there in a second. But I tapped into a couple of Celtics post-game shows, and there's a take out there that they should sit Tatum in Game 7 because this was never the year, and we don't want him to re-injure himself against the Knicks. That we're just gonna get our asses kicked in Game 7 and against the Knicks anyway. That's how the Knicks are being looked at.
Celtics. Knicks. Yeah.
No. How the Knicks are being looked at.
Got it. Sorry.
And I'm watching, obviously, what's going on in Denver when they can't close out a Minnesota team, missing 4 rotation players, including its best player. And what I said to you when we did the watch along / the fourth quarter watch along / post game show on the last game of the season, how much the path is going to matter.
Yeah.
And I'm staring at the Knicks' path, and we're really going to sit here for 24 hours just in the afterglow of a 50-point win, the only team that has advanced, and then get ready on Saturday, another 24 hours where we have to see who our opponent is. And if it's the Celtics, it's a very beatable, kind of perplexed Celtics. And if it's Philly, we have home court. I'm starting to have this epiphany, John. I'm not trying to jump ahead. I'm not going to jump ahead, the Kobe thing, right? I just job not finished, sure, but man, things are lining up. I never thought I'd say this, especially after we ended up drawing the Hawks and not the Raptors, but this worked out perfectly for the Knicks. When does it ever work out perfectly for the Knicks?
They got to stay healthy.
Yeah. Well, add that to it, John. They're the healthiest team.
Arguably.
Tatum left in the fourth quarter, and then Embiid's in an eternal injury report, right?
Yeah.
Magic, the Magic lost Franz, probably.
Yeah, no, it's just the Pistons are healthy. That's the only other
It's
team.
just the Pistons, and they need to come back from 3-1 to win their series, right?
No, it's all lining up. They have a lot of answers right now. They have a lot of different ways that they could beat teams. And I think that should be very scary for the rest of the East. This is the notion that this is just the Jalen Brunson show still, and it's you have 2 weak defenders. They ain't playing with a team. They like a team with 2 weak defenders. Yeah, sure, you could attack Brunson. Good luck figuring out a way to do that for however many minutes, 35 minutes every time, a minute, a game when he's in, and all the different weapons. And the wild card, which is why tonight really does stand out. The wild card was always Mikal Bridges, because the notion that they were going to be able to scale the mountaintop, getting 6th, 7th man level production from him, that never passed the smell test for me. Tonight, that passes all kinds of tests.
Yeah.
So if that is a thing now, and again, we've seen him do this in the playoffs before. If he gets the mojo back, you want to talk about interesting next opponent. We know he plays well against Boston. He doesn't fear Boston. And then to go potentially against the team that drafted him and traded him away on draft night, and the team that he wanted to play for because his mom with the organization from the area, the whole thing, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting. In the building where Josh Hart, and Jalen Brunson have a couple banners hanging.
Yes, and we know Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson eminently comfortable.
Absolutely.
Playing in that building.
Yeah, I'm I'm not trying to look too far ahead, but this is this is all starting to line up, and that's why my only thing. I'm not trying to say look too far ahead. I'm not doing that.
Well,
Enjoy these next 24, 48 hours. That's my only charge to Knicks fans. Have a cigarette for 24 hours because we're post-coital at the moment. This was one of the most fun nights. The clips of our watch-along are very funny. Of just you sitting there in silence, and I'm just dying laughing at
If I had
how much of a laugher this became.
If I had a cigar, I would smoke it tonight. I'll be up until 5 a.m. anyway. So
hey, same.
There you go. But no, I mean, like, it's not about looking ahead. You're looking ahead to just the next series, and you're feeling good about the next series. I think it's okay to feel good about the next series. And then I'm sorry that I don't look at any of the other 4 teams on the other side of the bracket at this point and be like, oh, man, I hope the Knicks could avoid them. I don't feel that way about any of these teams. Any of them. So, it's again, just keep playing how you're capable of playing. That's it. That's all that it is. But one step at a time. One game at a time, one step at a time.
2 super chats came in during this conversation. Robert Cross.
Is this crap still on? Evidently. And there's, again, a lot of people. What?
Dom the dentist.
And Dom the dentist. I just came from a cigar lounge and I'm lit. I wish I had a cigar right now. I don't even think there's a cigar in my house. I used to have a box of like cigars that were past when they should be smoked, but at least I had them. I don't have any cigars right now, unfortunately. And I don't live in the city anymore, so I can't just like walk down the block to a bodega and get some shit cigar.
You have a car, right?
What's open that I could buy a cigar right now?
You're on Long Island. You don't know that there's a 7-Eleven 5 minutes away everywhere?
There is a 7-Eleven 5 minutes away from me.
I know where there 7-Eleven is, too, because it's, again, you're near my mother-in-law. I've gone to that 7-Eleven before the movies before.
That would be one of the most degenerate things that I have done in quite some time. If I got my ass in the fucking car right now and drove to 7-Eleven to get a $2 fucking Philly blunt or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do they still sell Philly blunts? I've tried to buy one in I don't know how many years.
Who are you talking to, John?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I've had a cigar before, to be clear. It's been a long time.
For years when I DJ'd, it was tradition that I would light up a strawberry Philly blunt, which is not meant to be smoked, to be clear. It's meant to be unrolled and then you put something else in it and smoke that. I didn't do that. I would smoke the strawberry Philly blunt. That was my victory cigar at the end of a successful night of DJing.
Got it.
And did that 2-3 times a week for years.
I think whatever you would get at 7-Eleven, it would be more of a metaphor or a stand-in because we're all smoking that Atlanta pack tonight.
No, but I actually want to smoke a cigar.
I thought that would be a good joke to end it on. But you really do want to smoke a cigar, so never mind.
It's just in my head.
Okay.
But no, I'm not going to do that. I'll have maybe I'll have some non-fat yogurt. That's 6 of one, half dozen the other.
You and the non-fat yogurt.
Me and the non-fat yogurt. I'm treating myself to tomorrow morning though.
What?
I'm getting a fucking bagel.
There you go.
I am getting
Bacon,
a bagel
egg, and
tomorrow
cheese?
morning. What?
Bacon, egg, and cheese? Or are you just a plain, whatever, a bagel or cream cheese?
Cream cheese.
Okay.
Cream cheese. I go. There's a place nearby that they humored me last time I went in because to me, a good bagel place. I could ask them what's hot, and they don't look at me like I have 10 heads, and they'll actually touch and feel what's hot, and then I just get whatever's hot.
What bagel place do you go to?
It's based on Franklin.
It's got a name? Yeah,
I don't even know.
It's just the bagel place on Franklin.
There's a bagel place on Franklin.
Okay.
Pretty good.
There's a bagel boss on the other side, by the Korean barbecue place, the hibachi place. Not hibachi, but like the Korean barbecue place that's over there.
That's fine.
It's good.
Yeah, I prefer the one on Franklin.
I like the one on Northern. That's a little further away, on the other side of the train station.
Wow, you're sending me on a whole journey. Okay, so coming up, playoff hangover tomorrow.
Yeah, I can give you like you said, the hangover tomorrow. It is officially booked an exit interview with Hawks Fan TV, which will air Saturday morning. And then we will start to plan out what will be a very quick series preview on Sunday and Monday. I imagine you're going to be doing 2 shows that day, so just gear up.
Yeah, we'll adjust as needed.
Yeah, again, imagine you're doing 2 shows, one with Jeremy, one with Fred. We'll see how that goes.
We'll squeeze it all in.
That's what someone said.
All right. I will let you do all the scheduling. And hey, everybody out there, if you're still watching, thank you. Do us a favor, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead, subscribe. Follow us wherever you get your pods. If you're feeling particularly inspired tonight by a resounding Knicks victory, maybe channel some of that inspiration into a 5-star rating. Kind review, and bonus content on Patreon, Knicks Film School, and the Substack, where I'm going to write some words starting in about 2 minutes, so I don't fall asleep on my laptop, because I don't think anyone wants to read whatever words that would generate. Which would be a lot of letters. All right, Andrew, thank you, man. This was great.
Absolutely, John. Glad we got to enjoy every second of this series together. And I look forward to us enjoying the next round, whether it's Boston or Philly.
Fuck both of them.
Fuck both of them. Lord knows, as a baseball fan, I'm very much looking forward to a competitive series because I haven't been able to watch a lot of competitive baseball this year. Boy, did I need today. Boy, did I need a 50-point win because I think the baseball team I root for has 50 points this season.
I was about to say 50 points over here.
Yeah. All righty. Knicks in 6, everybody.
Peace.